Live from our studios in London, this is the Sonny LARAGAN Show with Europe's coolest and most romantic Filipino presenter, Sonny LARAGAN.
Okay, naku magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. Welcome sa ating program. Live na live ho tayo on a Tuesday evening. Ayan ho. Today is the 7th of July. So gusto ko lang batiin yung aking kaibigan, best friend, kababata, no? Si Ramti Villar ng happy birthday. Happy birthday, Ramti, no? Ayan, today we're gonna be may topic tayo, no? Falling in love with your best friend's ex, no? Is it right? Tama ho ba yan? Sumali ho kayo, pero mamaya pa yan. Pero ngayon, pwede rin ho kayo sumali because immediately, yung ating legal advice corner kagad ang ating ipapasok. Pabatiin natin yung ating kasamahang mula sa Belgium, no? Ito ang reyna ng ating, kumbaga ng ating network. Walang iba kundi si Queen August Mateo. Queen August, magandang gabi sa'yo.
Hello, sir. Over naman yan. Queen ka agad. Hindi po pwede mag-umpisa muna sa princess?
Ay, ewan ko. Queen, wala tayong magagawa. Due to public, ano yan, di ba? Oo, public vote o public, ano yan, choice.
To my people, come and watch our show for tonight. Yes, Sir Sunny. Good evening, Sir Sunny. And good evening sa lahat ng mga nanonood ngayon sa lahat ng parte ng Europa, lalo dito sa Belgium. Good evening sa inyong lahat. It's a beautiful Tuesday today here, Sir Sunny. Napakainit kanina, pero hindi ganun kainit, pero mas better siya compared 2 days ago. Kaya nag-enjoy naman ng mga tao, nasa mga ano na naman sila, sa labas ng mga restaurant. Ayan. So,
mga restaurants?
Ingat po lagi. Oo.
Mga restaurants? Ando na sila?
Yes, open ang restaurant namin dito, sir. Kaya lahat sila nasa labas, nagkakape or kumakain.
Okay. Really? Okay. Okay, lapit ka ng konti sa screen para lumakalaki ang iyong profile. Ayan, oo.
Ayan,
dahil,
sir, okay na ba? Ayan.
Dahil makakasama natin mga matatalino, of course, no? Mauhusay, combination of beauty and brains. At diretso na tayo sa ating segment. Mga kaibigan, kung kayo ho ay mga problemang tungkol sa batas, no? Ito'y napakagandang dagdag kaalaman ho sa atin. Pwede ho kayong sumangguni dito sa ating programa live, no? Ito na, punta na tayo direkta, no? Sa ating legal segment, no? Legal Advice Corner. Ito na ho. Sandali lang po. Okay, ito na ho yung pinakaabangan nating segment every Tuesday evening dito po sa ating programa, no? Dito sa ating station sa Pinoy Radio UK TV. Pabatiin na natin. Let's say good evening. Ito ho ang Head of Litigation ng Deo Volente Solicitors, DV Solicitors, at siya ho ay na-promote as partner. Let's say hello dito sa ating pinakamamahal na abogada, walang iba kundi si Attorney Dana Quinto, at may makakasama siya tonight. Good evening, Attorney.
Yeah.
Thank you po, Mr. Laragan. Good evening. And good evening, Queen Ay. Good evening.
Ang ay, gusto ko yun. Queen Ay. O, diba?
Ayan. Ayan. Good evening. Good evening. Apat tayong nakikita nyo. May kasama. We have somebody with us tonight on screen, no?
I will introduce, yeah.
Would you like to introduce her? Hi. Ganda nito. August. Napalibutan tayo ng mga beauty and brains, ha? These are very, very intelligent young women. Yes.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm here tonight with one of my colleagues, Sedeo Valente Solicitors, one of the hardest working colleagues at that firm. And she's proudly balancing family life. She's got a 2-year-old, balancing with an intense workload the brilliant and the fantastic Miss Angel Massey, who's here with us to discuss medical negligence.
Hi, Angel. You've muted your microphone. There you are. Hello, Angel. Hello. Oh, now mute siya. No, she's muted.
Now mute. Yeah.
Oh, let me.
Hello, Angel. You're actually. Oh, yeah. We can't hear you. Okay. Attorney Dana.
Yep.
Oh,
Hello?
so
Yep.
yeah. We're checking. We're checking if you have your audio. No. August, okay ka ba? Are you okay?
Yes, sir. I'm seeing.
So it's only Angel who's got a problem.
Let's have a look.
All right. Wala. Sige. Di bale. Tayo na muna, no? While she's working it out. Well, Angel, you were okay earlier.
Pero you
Let
can
me-
ask her. Yeah, it's okay now.
Is it okay now? Hello? Hello? Yeah. Go talk. Wala pa rin. We can't hear
Wala
her.
talaga.
Wala talaga. Sayang. Ano ba pag-uusapan niya? Hindi. Pwede siguro, if you can probably switch off and come back again.
Yeah, switch off and come
Yeah,
back again a week.
Oo, sige.
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 Before
Hindi
Before,
bale. Okay.
gives her
Ayan.
chat.
So, okay, guys, no, you can actually ring us, no? Ito yung ating telephone number. Kung gusto nyong, telephone number. Zoom ID pala, no? Let me just show myself para makita nila. If you want to join in, ask some questions regarding immigration. Ito, immigration, sorry. Legal advice, mga problema.
Legal advice.
Legal advice, sorry. Legal advice. So, sa legal advice, so, ayan ho, Zoom ID 689-009-1378. And the password is Pinoy, no? Pinoy. Ayan.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Funny-
check
funny
if
that-
she's okay now. Ayan. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, finally. Finally.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there.
It's all right. It happens, you know, at the last minute.
Spontaneous.
So you're a mother of two, Angel?
Yes, I am. Yes, to a 2-year-old, a very naughty 2-year-old.
Right. Massey, where is that the surname of your husband or your surname?
It's actually my maiden name. I haven't changed it over.
All right. Are you obliged or obligated to change your surname, or can you carry your maiden name?
I can, yeah. It's just choice. I think I'll have to change it over so many different, different areas. I have to change it across with your bank, with work, especially being a solicitor. Then you have to notify SRA with the name of change. I think that's why I've just kind of just left it to my maiden name for the meantime.
For the meantime, but you are supposed to be Mrs.
Mrs. Abraham.
Abraham. Oh,
Abraham.
right.
What a nice.
Yep.
Abraham.
That was also nice.
The Masses.
That name.
The Masses. Where is that surname originally from? Massey.
So it's a Christian, so it just means it means Christian in Punjabi.
It's a Punjabi word which means Christian.
Yep.
Okay.
Christian, yeah.
Christian.
Christian, like
Yeah, so it sets
Christian.
us apart.
Christian, really?
Christian, yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Okie dokie. So, Angel Massey Abraham. So, in the Philippines,
Yeah.
that would be AMA, and it means father in the Philippines. Ama. Angel Massey
Wow.
Abraham is okay. So,
Made with father.
yes, Dana, what are you gonna what's she gonna talk about? Angel, what are you gonna be enlightening our viewers on tonight?
So what I'm going to be sharing upon is medical negligence. It's an area that I don't think there is much awareness around about it. So I'm hoping to just increase everybody's knowledge. It is an area also, obviously. It doesn't mean we have, ourselves have been impacted by it, but it may be good knowledge to have for our loved ones, our friends, colleagues. From time to time, we all need assistance from, medical practitioners. So it's a really, really good area that I just want to obviously raise awareness about today. So just a little bit of a chronology on what I'll be covering. So first of all, obviously working around what the core principles are behind medical negligence. Some just very basic statistics across NHS, talking about the limitation period of when you can bring a claim, the funding, how you'll be able to fund a claim, as well as obviously just the type of documentation that you'll need to bring a medical claim forward. So just starting with very simple statistics. So every year NHS do receive roughly approximately around 10,000 claims each year. At the moment, this January, NHS did reveal that there are 4.3 billion unsettled claims at the moment. So there is a rise, and I do feel that in certain communities there could be more knowledge around this area, and hence that's what I'm here to talk about today. So just look at down to the nitty-gritty bits of medical negligence. So three main principles medical negligence concerning: there's duty of care that is owed from a medical practitioner to a patient. There has to have been a breach, and then there is a causation. So starting with duty of care. So there is a fundamental duty between a doctor and its patient, and as we all know, obviously from time to time we use the services and we put our full trust in when we obviously turn towards our GP, or when we're in emergency services, we need to go into A&E. So there is a very important duty that is owed, and the duty is of the competent person who is practicing in that field. And that duty doesn't just arise, for example, when a treatment is started, but the duty is owed throughout across the whole, from starting up until whatever medical health problem that you have. So you need to be able to just owe the duty during the investigation period, as well as obviously making that correct diagnosis. Just a few examples of the types of medical negligence claim, what examples there are. So doctors need to be able to diagnose you correctly at the right time. I think this is one of the crucial ones. For example, if a doctor doesn't diagnose you, let's say, at that point, and it is done later, at 3 months later, it may mean you might be able to receive the right treatment, and that can actually decrease the quality of your life. There may be some side effects that's going to affect your day-to-day activities. It's really, really important to address these issues, and you are aware to bring forward to make sure that the practitioners that have been involved with your health, that they know that there is this duty, that everything is done in a timely manner. And some examples, sometimes there's issues at birth, during labour, as well as wrong treatments being done. There are some side effects to the wrong medication that may have been administered. So these are the type of examples, and that all comes down to the duty of care at the same time. And the standard of care that a medical practitioner has is to a person that is competent in that particular field. Now, just moving towards the breach, where there needs to have been an injury, there's been a loss, and this obviously links onto the third factor, which is causation. So me and Donna were just speaking about this just the other day, and it's really, really important. Hello?
Okay, no, just a voice came in. He was not supposed to come in yet.
That's me. Oh, yeah?
Yeah, quiet please. Just sorry. Okay. Sorry. Just a moment. Okay.
That's okay.
Just carry on, Angel. Carry on.
Sorry. So when it comes down to breach of duty and causation, I think that's where the nitty-gritty bits are. It's important to be able to establish the breach and what's...
Yeah, it's me.
Yes, quiet please. Quiet. Okay, sandali lang. Hindi ka nanonood talaga, no? Just a moment. Oh, hindi ko mahanap kung nasan ka kaya hindi kita mapatay. Just sorry, Angel. Okay, just a moment. Just a moment. Just a moment. Just a voice just came through. Just quietly. Just a
Technical
moment.
problem.
Yeah, we're having a bit of a technical problem. Okay, let me just bring it back to me. Okay, we have a guy who would like to ask a question to Attorney Dana later, pero I couldn't find where he is. Immediately came in. I thought he would be quiet while it's not his turn yet. Sandali. Pat, can you, wag ka muna magsalita, pwede ba? Hindi kita makita kasi kung nasan ka eh. Hello, Pat? Hindi naman sumagot ngayon. Okay, sandali lang. Right, okay, I got him now. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, yes. Okay, just a moment.
No problem.
Sige, okay, Angel, sige, continue on. Okay, all right, we got it sorted now.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So just so obviously there's three elements to a medical negligence claim: duty of care. There is a duty owed to the patient. Then there has been a breach, and that because of the breach there is this causation. There has been an injury. So the first point is establishing that there is this breach. And then the second part is that because of that breach, on the basis of that breach, that there has been this causation. And the basic test for causation is that these injuries would not have sustained if there had not been that breach. And that is the link that we have to be able to establish that yes, it's because of that breach that this has happened, and damages are then we are able to recover those damages on that quantum. Also, with obviously you are only able to recover damages on what is foreseeable. So you can't hypothetically recover damages on anything that wasn't foreseeable in that situation. And the types of documents and what you need to be able to produce to be able to show that there was this injury sustained. So usually we do request medical records from if you've been treated at a hospital, or if it was through your GP, to make sure that we have all those records, because it may be obviously that you've been fitting well, and since you've started this new treatment, or since you've been, there's been this breach, that's when this injury was sustained. So it's really important to make sure that we are able to really pinpoint where this injury has come from. And especially it may be the case that we need additional x-rays, we need additional scans to be able to establish the injury again, keeping expert evidence, because what happens is we need to be able to establish that in that field, that is the same kind of guidance that is followed by all doctors. So it isn't just the case that one doctor has done this and, it was followed by the other doctors, or, where there is a breach, that yes, that the breach was based on the fact that there was carelessness involved. And we always advise also that to keep a diary of a daily diary, to make sure that we keep a record of all the symptoms. For example, if there is pain, it may be pain that's worse during the day, there's pain during the evening. So we can this will help to navigate towards when working out the damages, when there has been losses in earnings from past earnings, future losses with regards to, as well as really looking down to quality of life, how it has affected you being able to continue with your day-to-day activities. Also, when it comes to medical negligence claims, the way they are usually funded and is really favoured by most claimants is through a conditional fee agreement, which is commonly referred to as no win, no fee. However, obviously, there are disbursements that do need to be paid up front, but usually we can recover costs from the opponent at a later stage, once we get to that stage. Obviously, full guidance is given on conditional fee agreements. So you will be fully aware of the kind of what you will be getting yourself into. And timings, so usually it all depends on how, if you want to know how long it may take that you would be able to recover any costs. It does depend on whether the opponent, the defendant, is what their stance is on liability, whether they will be admitting liability, or is that going to be a walk in the park. It will take longer for them to actually admit it, which all comes down to documents, making sure we have all the right documents showing the injuries, as well as it all also depends on being able to establish that yes, there has been this link between the breach and what's the causation. And generally, yes, it does all come down to getting the documents together. And there is obviously, we try to have claims settled rather than going into court. So we try agreeing between both parties. But obviously, if we can't come to an agreement, and then the last resort is yes, the claim can be taken into court. And the time limits to obviously be able to issue to lodge a claim in court is 3 years. So the 3-year time period starts from when you have knowledge of that there has been this negligence. So that's usually when you obviously become aware that there is negligence there. There are few exceptions. Number one, the 3-year period wouldn't apply to you if you are under the age of 18, or if there is a mental capacity. So again, that 3-year period wouldn't apply. There is discretion available by judges. However, we do try and obviously make sure that you do seek legal advice as soon as you become aware that yes, this treatment hasn't gone well, this side effect doesn't seem to be working, the side effect has come upon, it wasn't there before. So it's always best to make sure that you seek that legal advice to make sure, not obviously. Health is a very, very important factor. We need good health to be able to carry on, to be able to enjoy our lives, to be able to do the things that we love. So it's very, very important to make sure that we do take all measures to make sure that our safety, our health is a number one priority. So that's it really for medical negligence. There is obviously a lot of legalities to it. But obviously, just making you aware that, yes, there is a duty of care owed by medical practitioners. You need to be aware if there is any sort of problem, any health problem that has occurred, get in touch, as well as obviously because of that duty has been breached, there has been injuries that have been sustained.
Okay, all right. Yes. Your audio was also fading in and out every now and then. So we would get some parts, some sentences, and some sentences would be cut out. But anyway, what we're making out of what you're saying, you mentioned about no win, is it conditional? No win, no
fee agreement,
no claim,
yes.
no fee. You were mentioning about that. Is that the usual? How would you call it? Standard operating procedure, or the in these cases?
Yeah, so that is one of the ways of funding a medical negligence claim. Obviously, there is a way of paying privately, but obviously, when it comes to fees, one of the most favourable ways of funding it is a conditional fee agreement.
What are the kinds of what do you call this? Medical negligences, for example. What are the common ones that you would encounter? Because you said yes,
I
Donna.
Question, Mr. Laragan. Yeah, I did promote. One of from my experience, either there was a surgery that had gone wrong, or there was a delayed treatment. There was an acceptance of risk, and it was fine. However, the complications were not treated as properly as the standard for that particular complication dictates. So it could be anything, but that's normally when nag-ano talaga, kumbaga, yung most of the complaints, because dun sila, the tendency is that the bigger the problem, the bigger the complication, the more likelihood it is that the injury is life-changing. And when it's life-changing, that's when the clients become very heavily invested in the process of knowing what happened. Ano ba nangyari? Ba't ako nagkaganito? Because they would know the natural risk and complication. However, most of the time, the instinctive feeling if something had gone wrong, and if that something had gone wrong, that's actually breach of duty. So three items are breach of duty. So you have that instinctive feeling. There's something that's not quite right, and then the other instinctive feeling is that why am I in such a worse position? Why am I not healthy? Why? One of my biggest first cases when I was younger is, I'm still young, I like to think so, but a loss of an eye. So that's quite apparent, that a complication that caused a very standard operation that ended up in a loss of an eye. So there are trigger, parang magtatanong ka, what happened? That's normally when clients come to me, they would say, meron kaming gut feel that there's something not quite right about this situation. So that's when the due diligence comes in.
Okay, so you had an eye taken or whatever, not really taken, but something happened to your eye, a botched operation, whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
so do you
Botched
count it? The 3-year thing that you were mentioning is counted from the time of the operation date. Is that
It's two ways. I think Angel's audio was not very good at that point, and I was about to pick up on that one because this is very important. We're going to go back to limitation period. It is 3 years from the date of the surgery. Alternatively, it's 3 years from the knowledge of the injury. Most of the time, you'll know when you have a botch operation straight away within 24 hours, so that's fine. Sometimes you'll know about the complication. I've had one case when they knew of the complication a couple of years later. So you start from the date of the knowledge of the injury. So whichever would apply to you. However, as Angel said, that's not always the case. If you're under 18 years old, so it starts from when you're 18 rather than the injury when you were 7, and then you knew of the suffering and the losses when you're 8. So it starts when you're 18, and if there's mental health issues. If in doubt, err on the side of caution, dahil mahirap pong i-argue yung discretion of court. Angel mentioned about the discretion of court na meron silang exception. Really, really very hard to argue. Very, very hard to argue. So
exception? What do you mean exception? Exception on?
The court has the discretion. The court has the discretion. Yung sinasabi nila, 3 years yan. But in some circumstances, very, very minor, very narrow circumstances, they would allow you to go beyond 3 years. There are very small number of cases, but it's a very hard thing to argue. So for everyone's knowledge, please take note of the 3 years period. I think yun yun, unless bata po. So that's quite important thing to know.
Bata and ano yata?
Mental health.
Okay. She mentioned also you cannot claim for something else, something like that. I couldn't understand something like, for example, a botched eye operation, for example, and you can claim for something else, for perhaps a pain in some other part of your body, and claim damages also on that. Were you mentioning that, Angel? Like it has to be.
You want to say something about that?
So
you cannot add on, or you cannot something.
So there has to be a direct link. So you can't claim for something. So, for example, you've got an injury, there's pain. So the injury was actually sustained in your shoulder, and that's where your operation was. But now you're complaining of some sort of pain which has no link to the actual the duty or where. Sorry, so the breach has to be in connection with. There has to be that link.
And you were saying that you have to put it in a diary or whatever.
Yeah, so it's always key. It's always good. I think I've learned this point from Donna, to always keep a diary of all your symptoms to make sure that that on a daily basis you are aware what it is that you're suffering on that day, because sometimes it depends on the seasons. In the mornings it may be worse when you're getting out of bed, or if, for example, you're walking around the house and that's when your injury is the worst. So it's these points that really can establish the prognosis of the injury.
You mentioned about it somehow if the surgeon or the doctor, whoever, would probably acknowledge this, it would be a walk in the park. But if, say, for example, they try to, make it hard for your client, so normally, how long does it take? Is it a long process?
I'll probably answer that.
Yeah, yes,
from experience, probably because of the number of not so much walk in the park cases we've had, which is the norm. The norm is the reality is that it's going to be a hard walk in the park, if not a walk in the park at all. The reason being is that that's a strategy. That's a strategy of the other side. You have 3 years. This is when the 3 years is quite important. The reality is that they will try to drag you as close as possible to 3 years deadline to settle. And they will try to lowball you. I could probably speak of this candidly because everyone in the industry knows that it's a common tactic. One of the reasons for that is a few years ago, tumaas po yung court fee ng mga personal injury.
Mm-hmm.
Depende na sa value ng case. So if you have a life-changing injury na ang worth ng injury mo is, say, 200,000, ang court fee mo would be about 10,000 pounds. So it's quite prohibitive kung wala kang 10,000 pounds. We're going to go into that shortly kung paano mo pwede fund yon. But this is very simple tactically. Meron kang kabilang partido na alam na kapag umabot ka sa 3 years, it's going to be extra hard to have a bargaining position. Hence, nasa advantage nila to make it as hard as possible. And the tendency is to not acknowledge liability kung pwede silang mag-debate about it. So you have to work very hard. Your lawyers, your legal team would have to work very hard in terms of getting experts' opinion to really pin down sa kanila na, do you know what, our evidence is strong and we will take you to court and it will cost you more if you don't settle now. So it could be 2 years, it could be 3 years. And you will say, actually, potentially sometimes you go beyond 3 years because of prognosis. Remember a few episodes ago, I did say, minsan, hindi yung delay sa abogado, minsan hinihintay yung symptoms to calm down. We can extend the 3 years by agreement. A lot of the personal injury cases, because hindi sila magkaroon ng time to negotiate because of COVID, it was well known na maraming nag-extend ng limitation period nila. So it can be extended. But the tactic is hindi walk in the park. Hindi ibibigay sa'yo yung sabi mo acknowledgement, the admission of liability. You're going to have to work very hard for it, and you're going to have to work promptly for it. So get as much of the evidence as possible, get a decent expert's report, get to that point where the position of the case is that we have strong evidence, we will take you to court, and if you do go to court, it will be more expensive for you.
The impression that I actually have, I was thinking that it's if within 3 years you don't initiate an action, then the thing prescribes. But what you're explaining to us, Dana, is that somehow people are pressured. For example, the aggrieved party, if they could not work it out almost until the 3rd year, they are more or less pressured into, like you said, probably agreeing into a lesser fee or compensation.
Exactly.
So you don't extend it. I thought that it's between 3 years that I'm filing an action. I discover this thing, because you said it might be extended. So I thought it was just like a matter of, say, we discovered it, or it came out 2 years and 9 months. So you now file an action. So you're within a 3-year period. So you were mentioning sometimes it becomes a problem because the strategy of the other party is to, because especially now that the fees have increased, it more or less prevents or dissuades
Prohibit.
somebody or prohibits somebody from
Dissuades
filing
somebody.
something. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. So
okay. So what is you mentioned about there are other ways instead of funding it for £10,000. What is, for example, if it's 200,000, as you mentioned, the filing fee is £10,000. So what are now the remedies of somebody who got these injuries?
correct. If the merit is right, there are litigation funders out there who you can approach. So they provide litigation loan. So they will say, we will loan you this sum so you can have your armor, your legal armor, because we know your case is strong. And the only thing that's stopping you is the other side taking advantage of this prohibitive court fee after 3 years. So you can't go beyond 3 years. So there are options, but it would have to be, they would have to go through the merits test. So kailangan by 3 years. And that's the reason why we emphasize it as a team, yung prompt gathering of evidence, prompt looking at the action, because you need every single day of that 3 years.
Teka muna.
Every single day.
Teka muna. Ang question ba is the fee comes in on the third year now, when the third year arrives? Ganun ba yun? So before that, you don't have to pay anything? Is that how it is?
You don't have. You don't have. You only pay
Okay. I got you now. It's getting clearer na. Naintindihan mo na, August. Iipitin ka nung kalaban mo, nung doktor o para hindi ka acknowledge. Sabi nga, it's not an easy walk in the park. So, pupush nila na pupush until the end because you will be forced
Until
to...
the end, yeah.
Because
they
to
don't
further
take
the action, you have to
that
pay...
is-
magpapasok ka ng 10,000 pounds. Depende sa Yung 10,000, is that for... Depende, how much ba? May mga graduated yan?
About 5% of the value of your claim, capped at
ganun.
£10,000. So above 200,000, it's still 10,000. So it's 5% of the value of your claim, but ang pinakamataas na pwede mong bayaran is £10,000, and talagang binabayaran mo sa korte yun. So that 10,000 is when you get to 2 years, and I don't say go to the last day. Don't do that. You give 2 weeks. You give 2 weeks because you have to go to the court. You have to actually apply. So coming up to the 3 years, you have two options: accept a settlement. Well, third option is to drop the case, accept this, or to be time barred. So 3 options: accept the settlement in front of you, or sue them, or agree an extension, which they won't give you if kung iipitin ka nila. I mean, they don't say that, but everyone knows that this is a tactic that they play. And I say this with due respect to doctors. Hindi doctors po yung insurers po nila. Hindi po doctors yung lumalaban sa lawyers. It's their insurers. Medical negligence is a fact of life, and this is, yung kuro-kuro natin ngayon is no disrespect to doctors at all. Errors are fact of life. And so is negligence as well. So we're just talking about something that happens in reality as a facet of life.
So the reality is actual the insurers who are trying to make things hard for the claimant.
Yeah.
So ganun pala, August, 2 weeks mo nalaman yung kunyari may problema sa operasyon mo. Libre pa pala, sige, i-file mo, no? Pero pag malapit ka na mag 3 years, kailangan to continue on. You have to file, filing fee ang batawag doon? Is that?
Filing fee.
It's a big amount of money.
Ano yung mga no work, no win, no win, no claim, no win, no claim? Are there also, ba yan? Yung mga yan?
Yeah, that's for the legal cost. Yun po yung sa amin, yung legal fee namin. This £10,000 is for the court. Para po sa korte to. Hindi po mapupunta sa abogado to. So this is the court's fee, yung filing fee, the court issue fee na sinasabi namin. It wouldn't go to the doctor, and lawyers hindi sila yung magbabayad nun.
So yung no win, no pay, actually, yung kliyente, kailangan pa rin mag-put up ng filing fee. Yung no win, no claim is when you fight for the client. Is that it? Yung walang bayad?
Correct. From day one, within a year, day one to kailan man mag-settle yung kaso, that's our fees. And most of the time, yun yung, I wouldn't say fine print, but yun yung provision ng no win, no fee. Actually, yung court fee, hindi kasama doon.
So from day one, okay, no win, no claim, nire-represent nyo na, napush dahil mahusay yung, yung insurance eh. So pagdating ngayon sa third year, okay, so no win, no, pa rin, no? No win, no fee, something like that, no? Pero now, on the third year, pag darating na, they have to put up the money. Ganon.
Either yes, I would have to give them the option. You take the settlement in front of us. If we really cannot negotiate an extension ng 3 years, minsan na-extend po yun eh. If we really cannot negotiate the extension ng 3 years, depending sa merits. So, pag ang merits namin sasabihin namin, look, you can potentially get more, really more. So, may balancing na mangyayari doon. And I would give it to the client. This is the settlement now, or you invest 10,000, or get 10,000, or we could ask a litigation funder to see if we want to get more with the court, which will take another probably 2 years. That's reality. In some cases, it is probably the right move, but you do not take that decision lightly because it's £10,000 and that's a lot of money.
Okay. Alright. August, baka may gusto ko lang itanong na mabilis lang bago nating tapusin yung ating segment. Iniintay ko yung tawag ng may gusto magtanong kay attorney, bakit bigla ka nawala?
What is the percentage of chances of winning if you try to pursue the case?
Depende po yan. Depende sa ebidensya. Depende sa it's a case-to-case basis. So we would form an opinion. Dapat yung percentage na yan, we actually check at all times. So halimbawa, sa una pa lang, we would roughly form a very rough opinion about the merits of the case. Anong percentage nito ang possible na loss nito. When we get all the evidence, we have to get that. When we get the reply from the other side, we have to form another opinion. So we don't ask that question at the point of issuing the case. We ask that question almost all the time. Kasi kailangan namin sabihin sa kliyente namin na, look, this is year 1 of year 3. We are here in terms of gaining a settlement. So yung project na it's actually quite a big project. You don't look at it, hindi mo ikakram sa last minute. So when we take on a case, we look at the life of the case from day 1 up until limitation period. Nakalagay na lahat yan sa diary kung kailan mag-expire. And we set up a timetable para may mga tasks na kailangan naming andito na kami para hindi kami maipit ng kalaban sa year 3. So that's how lawyers on the other side, the claimant side, would strategize. And the question of percentage would have to be answered really depending on the case. Depende sa kung ano. And sometimes hindi lang yung percentage na makukuha. What is the percentage of me getting a bit more than dun sa settlement na in-offer nila? So sometimes may in-offer na sila. Halimbawa, 150,000. Pero ang sabi namin, pwede kang kumuha ng 250,000. What is the percentage in 1 out of 10 judges that a judge would give you 250,000 instead of 150,000? So those are the questions that you need to ask, not in year 3, but you need to ask all the time, every single time may ebidensya na pertinent to change the landscape of the case.
Okay, ayan. Alright. Okay. Ayan. Well, teka muna. Ba't hindi pumasok tong tao na to, no? Kasalanan mo, no? Bigla kang nainip. Hindi ka na naka. Ayan. Okay. Alright. Teka muna. Bigyan natin ng chance makapasok to. Hindi yata sandali para kausapin lang natin. Kasi tumawag to at nung pagkatapos ng show natin last week Sandali. Sandali lang.
Ayun na. Hello.
Sandali. Hindi, kailangan sa Zoom, hindi dito sa ano.
Okay.
Teka muna. Inaabangan ka lang. Matatapos na yung segment nila. Anong oras ka papasok? Pasok ka na kagad muna ngayon. Kasi nandun ka na kanina eh.
Oo nga, kuya. Taka.
Okay, sige. Pasok ka na kagad, please. Ha? Hindi ka namin mahihintay forever. Sige, okay. Sige, pasok ka na sa Zoom. Zoom ka, papasok. Papasok ka sa Zoom. Sus Mariosep talaga. Hindi kasi August, tumawag to nung last time eh. Meron daw siyang gustong magtanong sa ating legal advice. Pag hindi kabisado yung Zoom, no? Hindi masyadong, I don't know. Anyway. Ito na. Andiyan na kanina. Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Sige, go ahead. Anong gusto mong sabihin?
I have a question, Angel, Miss Dana. Let's say, for example, if I have a nose job, and then after the operation, after 2 months, I've seen that there is something wrong, like maybe it's not really, the alignment is not really okay, or maybe the whole of the nose is not perfect. Can I also do that? Can I also file a case?
I'd probably, yes, if depende sa, pag sinabi sa'yo, look, this is the expectation, before the surgery, sinabi sa'yo, ito yung alignment na gagawin ko sa nose job mo. They'll give you probably, I don't know kung ano yung x-ray or whatever, MRI scan. And then later on, you found out, oh my God, baliktad, and I can't breathe properly. May talagang suffering. Yes, you can. That's negligence, and either they have to solbahin mo na yung problema, ayusin mo na yung ilong so that you can breathe properly. So that's one. And then see if may permanent damage, and then look at yung losses mo. Hindi ka naka-work, or you were very much in pain for the last few months. But the straightforward answer is yes, it's a potential
question, because of August's question. What if, for example, August has a friend who had a sex change, okay?
Yeah.
Botched sex change, the person died. Can families also claim? Ano ba, is it, I don't know, I'm just asking, di ba? August has a friend, botched operation, sex change, died. Can the mother sue the doctor? Does it fall under medical negligence also?
Yes, but how it is the estate of the friend. So say si June again.
June.
The estate of June. So halimbawa, sino man yung executor ng estate niya? Halimbawa, in this case, mother or partner, or sino man nilagay niya sa will niya.
Okay.
On behalf of his estate or her estate, can sue kung makita na may breach of duty at yung ginawa nila, it was completely botched operation and that caused the death. So straightforward is yes, it's not the parent or hindi it's whoever's representative ng estate. And we've done that. I've done that personally as well.
Okay. Would the 3-year thing also be applied to that?
Yes.
Right.
3 years apply.
Malinaw din, August, ha?
Fatal accidents.
Meron ganyan namatay, boob something.
Boob job, yes.
Boob job yata, sikat na artista ba? Artista ba yun? O asawa o parang ganun eh. Anyway, I forgot.
Yes.
Pwede pala. At least malinaw.
The straightforward answer is yes.
Yes.
As the executive, you actually have to look at that. You actually have to look at any potential cases. And you will act as if ikaw yung you will wear the hat ng yumao. So we've done that in the past, and we've taken instructions from state.
All right.
Exactly.
Attorney, eto na yung magtatanong lang, may at least legal on air legal advice lang. Eto si Pat C, Penilla. Pat, go right ahead. Sige, andiyan si attorney nakikinig.
Will act as if ikaw yung
Hello, Pat? Pat, wag kang makinig sa Okay, hello, Pat. Naku, hindi pala nakakaintindi. Magulo pala tayo itong gabing ito. Diyos ko. Pat, huwag kang manood sa Facebook o huwag kang manood. Delay dyan. Live to. Ito. Pat? Naku. Pat? Hindi. Boses lang daw muna.
Opo. Hello.
Delete ka, Pat. Sumasagot ka sa...
Am I on?
You are on. Pero
am I on na po?
Yes, but delay ka masyado. Huwag kang manood sana. Patayin mo yung Facebook mo. Manood ka rito sa...
Okay.
Hello, Pat?
Oo nga po. Nag-halo-halo po eh.
Oo, kaya nga, patayin mo yung Facebook mo. Patayin mo yung Facebook mo.
Okay.
Para dito ka lang sa amin sa Zoom.
Opo.
Hello? Sorry, Angel, we're
Yes,
talking
kuya.
Tagalog, in our language.
That's okay.
Yeah. Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear us? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, pero delayed ka sumagot eh. Delayed siya sumagot eh. Hindi niya, nanonood siguro siya. Anyway, next time na lang siguro to. Pat, siguro, oo. Oo,
Maybe she can...
oo. Sige, telepono na nga lang para diretso lang tayo. Sige, telepono lang para ano.
Yeah, but Sir Sunny, I have also another question. Because normally when I'm watching movies or
Pero hindi ko
normally when you had an operation, there is something like you need to sign from the doctor. So let's say, for example, let's say you had an operation and then you signed the documents or the agreement, and after the operation there is something wrong. So it means that there is a medical negligence. So you can file a case.
It depends on what caused that something wrong. So they will list an acceptable risk there. So sabihin nila, explain nila sa inyo na ito yung acceptable risk. One of my cases, I'll probably talk about one of my cases. The loss of an eye case. Sinabi noon, sabi, pwede kang magka-infection. Yun actually yung komplikasyon noon. Pwede kang magka-infection. Sabi nila, and actually, pag na-sign na, ito po mga kababayan, pag sinainan nyo po yung consent, basahin nyo kasi pag sinainan nyo, it would mean binasa nyo. And the court would ask you, actually, kung alam mo na ganun yung magiging komplikasyon, tanggap mo naman talaga eh. Tinanggap mo talaga yan. Gusto mo talaga yung boob job. Gusto mo talaga yung pagtanggal ng cataract. Kailangan mo talaga yun eh. That's the reality. You accepted the risk. How it pans out later on is meron pa rin silang duty, like what Angel said, the duty goes on throughout the case. So dun sa case study natin, the loss of an eye, there was a risk of infection arising. However, ang nangyari doon is hindi pala nila na treat as early as possible. It was a delayed treatment case. So don't just because nag-sign ka ng consent, meron pa rin silang duty na pag lumabas yung naging totoo yung risk, is they have to treat it as reasonably skilled as possible. So hindi lang doon natatapos na tumaas yung risk, andyan yung risk. Did they treat the risk properly? So yun yung second question. But yes, pag sinainan mo yung consent, most likely than not, it would be deemed na accepted mo. Most of the time, the doctor, so pag may risk kayo, sasabihin, eto, we have to get this clot out of your heart. Kasi kung hindi, mamamatay ka. However, there's a slight risk, a certain risk na pwede kang mabalda. So ano yung risk na anuhin mo, not to take mo. So you probably say, you know what, I'll take my chances. Di bali na mabalda, basta buhay ako. So you would have taken that risk. And he's there.
Hello, kuya.
Oh, he's there. Okay na, sige na. Okay na. Ayan, can you hear us?
Okay na po, ay salamat. Sorry, I was just like, it's all kinds of technical difficulty. Apologies po.
No problem. No, we wanted to make way for your queries and questions to
Hi, Dana.
Attorney Dana.
Hello po. Gandang gabi.
Dana, can you hear me? Okay na po?
Opo.
Yeah, 5x5, yes. Loud and clear.
Okay.
Can you hear us? Kami ba malinaw sa'yo? Narinig mo kami?
Clear na po. Opo, clear ka na po.
Fantastic. Okay, go.
Yeah.
Ayan.
Oh.
Go.
Great, kuya.
Sige, anong question?
Attorney,
Sige.
I've been a UK banker po for 13 years, no? Pero ngayon, I have a very, very, I don't know if it's a big case that you can help me kasi it's to a point po na manloloko yung Yorkshire Building Society. Oh my God, attorney. Bale, I cannot believe they held my benefit po, my universal credit, which is our benefit. I've been, a banker, my wife's an NHS nurse. Umiiyak kami ngayon kasi they stole our money po. They gave us a check that won't work. we are on with the ombudsman na po. It's been 30 days, 30 days po, and we don't have any funds, attorney, and we're going crazy. I'm just wondering po if you can help us.
Anong dapat yung gawin? Hindi, kung anong gagawin mo, parang yun ang tanong mo siguro.
Opo.
Pat, attorney, nakuha mo ba yan?
So let me get the facts, the case statements right. So you said that Yorkshire Building Society.
Attorney, hello? Kuya, hindi ko po marinig.
Sorry. Tana, let me give it to you. Sandali lang. Attorney, sandali lang.
Audio siya eh.
Oh, sandali lang. Okay,
Salamat,
all right.
kuya.
Sige, go. Ayan.
Okay.
Attorney, hi.
Hello. Right.
Hello, salamat po. Narinig niyo po yung sinabi ko?
Isa-summarize ko lang po so that I could
Opo.
check kung tama yung pag
Yeah.
if I understood it correctly. So Yorkshire Bank gave you a check that's not working effectively. Ganun lang. Hindi kumbaga nag-bounce ba yung check? I don't know when you said
Ganito, attorney, no? Ang nangyari ho, they held my funds literally criminally, and nagkwento pa sila sa police ng something bad. So the police came to me on behest ho, nagsishield kami ng asawa ko. They came to us ho, and now they're making this parang unfounded allegation na akala ko nga ho terrorist allegation or what na hold yung pera ko since 30 days po eh.
Yeah, they're doing their okay. You're probably best. And I say this with respect. You can call me. It's a bit sensitive. I will give you. I'll give you general guidelines, but call me next time. But I will give you general guidelines at the moment. There are instances where financial institutions can hold funds as far as from my experience had gone. Depend this situation, there are statutes that would allow them to do that. You can raise the issue with them, obviously, make a complaint. We're civil lawyers, so we look at kung ano yung contract with the bank. Obviously, in very simple terms, the contract is it's your money, it's in your bank. They will say, right, we know it's your money, it's your bank. However, we have a right further to the statute of this to do our own money laundering or investigation or whatever further to our responsibility as a financial institution. You mentioned you're a banker before. I cannot comment on particular case. I should not. I'm not. And if I do, I would be outside of the parameters of what I should be doing. But those are the two questions. You're right to say, yes, if it's my money, it's my money. However, the bank in general terms, has a right to withhold funds under their own discretion under a number of statutes, including what I just mentioned.
Quick question po. Bale, what they did was they didn't explain to me. They wrote a letter saying, sorry, we're closing your funds. Here's the check. Pero it's because of security matters. And then wala naman terrorism or what. Nasa ombudsman na yun. Wala.
They don't need to explain to you. Sometimes they don't need to explain to you. There are issues about that. I have in my, I'll be very honest, without breaking confidentiality, I have in the past, I have been on one case where I ask. And it was just a matter of saying, look, what's your issue? And let us help you clarify those issues. They have the prerogative not to tell you. And that is, I think, further to a statute. I'm just giving you general guidelines, but they have a prerogative not to tip. It's called tipping. They do not have to give you the full background of the case, but you can push the timetable. You can say, look, you don't need to tell me that, but is there anything that can help you clarify whatever it is that you are not telling me? And the
question po,
job.
Sandali, patapusin muna. Sige, baka may question.
Sorry, go ahead, attorney.
Sige.
Yeah, to help them do their job. I have been on one case, and we got to the bottom of it. It wasn't quick. It wasn't quick. However, they did recited to me the statute under which they can do that, and under which they don't need to tell me exactly what they're doing, and that is outside of my civil code. They have under all this matter. If it's a police matter, they'd have to do it. I can only comment generally. I'd rather not comment on
Ito yan, may following, lang to, for general information lang, if you want to seek legal advice talaga, kailangan talagang, you will have to consult with a lawyer talaga. Although, lawyer to kaya lang. May question ka ba? May question ka ba? Last question.
To the financial ombudsman. It's right to go to the financial ombudsman. I'm sorry. Part of the job is to give you a full and frank advice, and the full and frank advice is, as a general matter, financial institutions have the capacity under certain statute to withhold your money, and sometimes they would not. By law, they could opt not to tell you the full on, but they can't hold it forever. However, you'd have to just say to them, you have to take a proactive approach and say, how do I help you sort out whatever it is that you need clearing?
Ayun, yun ang mas maganda. Parang you're helping them to help you also. No? Yes, go ahead. Ano yan?
Yeah, lastly, attorney, kasi the ombudsman po, in 15 years po, in 15 cases, I never won anything. So, I don't know how this is gonna fly. Siguro po I'll need to retain you. I don't know how expensive it is, but I think I need to retain you po kasi 15 years, 15 cases, lahat, parang tennis love set ako, 15-0. So, they know about it and I don't know what to do anymore. Kasi I told them, they're being unethical, they're being unselfish, and they're not fair. And there's BBC expose, I don't know if you saw it, but that they say, oh, it's too hard. Let's give it to the companies, insurance, banks, whatever. It's with the BBC po in the realms of the web. So I don't know po how it's gonna be. I think I'll need to retain you po.
Okay.
So meanwhile, I'm starving in a food bank.
I'm sorry to hear about the unfortunate situation. It's not a laughing matter. As I've said, we can only give a general advice in case, especially with sensitive matters. I'd rather not talk about it in public for your own good. I can give you, as I've said, I can give you all this general information about what banks can do. In terms of cost, you'd have to talk to me about that. You've got our details there. You can look us up. In terms of ombudsman's cases, again, in cases where I'm not part of, it would not be professional for me to comment on it. So, but I'm sorry.
Amazing, thank you.
Maganda to kasi she's a Filipina and she's the head of litigation. And aside from that, she's now a partner. She was promoted as a partner. So, kababayan natin to.
We can do a lot of good ho kasi I have all the banking inner circles po ginawa ko na yan, and I cannot understand now na wala na ko nung job nung 2012. I'm in the flip side, on the other spectrum of the rainbow, so to speak, and I'm being treated this way. And I earned Barclays millions. They know that. They know me. I've been with Citibank in Manila for 5 years. I was a team leader for Citiphone Banking. Di ba, Kuya San? Citiphone Banking, Kuya San, gusto niyo ng $500,000, eto po, approved na. Ayun, ganun ako dati, Kuya.
But that's nice. Well, kausapin mo, if you need to further your case or whatever it is, yung actions on your dilemma, then perhaps somebody knowledgeable in law like Dana would be the best person to consult, no? Kami ni August, wala kami alam, hindi kami pwede magdunong-dunungan dyan. Si August now, nose job, ang alam lang niya kung saan pinaka...
I'm close to like singing, magtatamburin na ako, bam, 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 Oh, God.
Pero sige, at least nandiyan si Dana, you can check with her, and if you decide to perhaps, get them, instruct them eventually, pwede yan, no? At kagandahan yan, Pinoy.
Amazing.
At matalino pa, no? Mahusay pa. So,
tindi.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks, Patrick. Mabuhay ka. Thank you rin for
salamat, mabuhay po kayo. Thank you, everyone. Sorry for the mess up.
No.
The
Okay
Zoom
lang
is
yan.
the first time I came.
No problem. No, okay lang yan.
Love you, Kuya San. Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome.
Bye for the lady. Bye.
Ayan. Nakakatawa si Patrick. Bye. Ayan. Okay. Well, amazing daw. Amazing. I hope Angel.
You're right there.
Baka wala na siya. Okay na yan. All right. Well, I guess maganda, attorney, maski paano, meron tayong happy bunny, no? Happy bunny ba tawag doon? A guy, somebody who's had this problem, hindi niya makuha ang pera yata niya eh. So meron siyang mga benefits na dinideposit sa bangko at hindi niya makuha yata, no? So yun, baka at least magkausap kayo.
No problem.
He's one of our viewers, no?
One of your listeners. As I've said, sometimes it's easier to talk about highly sensitive issues, may free 30-minute consultation naman, do pick up the phone. We do give that as well. And I'd rather we have a chat about that, because if it's in a live case as well, if you're not talking about hypothetical, it's much better to talk to your legal advisor directly straight away and get the information within that 30 minutes as well. So,
Ayan.
And lahat naman no matter how complicated it is, or no matter, dito naman tayo para at least makabigay ng kahit anong tulong. So,
Naku, malaking tulong ka. Attorney, di ba? August, malaking tulong to sa ating mga kababayan.
Yes,
no? Because
of course.
it's dagdag kaalaman, no? Yun, nalilinawan natin yung mga claiming na yan. Pag na-push ka hanggang third year,
Correct.
magbabayad ka na nung filing fee sa korte. Pero, di ba?
Exactly.
Yan ang reality. Kunikwento sa ating katotohanan ng mga insurers. Talagang, hanggat maaari, nilalaban niya, pinatatagal, ginigipit ka para umabot ka sa finish line. Because by that time, mapipilitan ka na mag-settle dahil ang laki nung puputap mong fee.
10,000 pounds.
Kung 200,000, depende. 5% of ng kinukuha mo.
exactly.
Kung kalahating milyon yan, magkano 5%?
Exactly.
Di ba? 25,000.
10,000 po. Cap lang po sa 10,000.
Nakakap yun. Kung 1/2 million ang kiniklaim mo, okay. Okay naman pala. Okay. So, okay.
Pero 10,000 pa rin. But tumpak po yung summary nyo. As in, yun ang gusto ko talagang ibigay na lasting knowledge sa mga kababayan.
Attorney, baka ikaw, bukod sa sabi mong sinamarize ko, pero ikaw na baka yung final explanation mo, dahil miss ka namin ni August, isang linggo ka na namang mawawala. Oo.
Yes. Exactly as what Mr. Laragan said. 3 years. Do it as promptly as possible, get legal advice as promptly as possible, kasi the reality is, iipitin po kayo dahil mahal to escalate it to a court proceeding. So, do seek legal advice and do call us. We do give free 30-minute consultation. And that's it, really. Maraming salamat sa time. And thank you as well for everyone who's watching and who's calling, who's participating. Nakakatuwa.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Attorney. Si Miss Angel nawala, pero okay lang yan. So, sige, thank you very much. Mabuhay, ha? Bye-bye, and till next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, Tinay.
May problema ka ba sa landlord mo? Baka iiwi ka na ni Kuya. May problema sa mga kapitbahay, sa trabaho. O kaya naman kay Mister o kay Mrs. Away tungkol sa mana, mga may utang, mga aksidente, daing o laban sa ospital or sa NHS, harassment, o baka naman may stalker ka na gusto mong ireklamo. Punta na sa DV Solicitors para matulungan ka pagdating sa mga litigations at iba pang mga legal concerns. DV Solicitors at Mayfair House, 11 Lurk Street, Bedford, MK48 3HZ. Tumawag sa 01234-350-244 or 01234-225-188 o kaya naman mag-email sa d.quinto@dvsolicitors.com. Visit our website at www.dvsolicitors.com.
Putin Forwarding International. We are one of the pioneers in the Balikbayan Box freight service in the UK. Trusted, highly recommended, and the top choice of the first OFWs coming over and generations after. With over 25 years of service to the community, we've been delivering cargo boxes throughout the UK and the Philippines. For our special promos and cargo rates, call 0208-520-6435 or 0208-509-1434 or visit our website at www.pforwarding.com. PutenForwardingInternational.com. Puten Forwarding International, your family's favorite forwarder for over 25 years and still going on strong. Puten Forwarding International, a proud member of the British International Freight Association.
Okay, tuloy-tuloy tayo sa ating program, no? Ayan. At kasama natin si August for tonight, no? August, nako, napahaba yung ating
Yes, tayo sa usapan natin kanina.
Okay. Okay. So that was good naman. Very informational naman. Maganda, no? Dahil
Yes.
pagka inopera ka, o may medical thing
Correct.
na ginawa sa yung doktor, at least magka-claim ka. Pero ang hirap pala niya, no? Madugo.
Correct, sir. Kaya nga sa Pilipinas, sir, di ba, maraming medical negligence, pero ang nangyayari is nagsisettle na lang sila. Kasi nga, syempre, kung papadaanin pa yun sa korte, mga ganun-ganon, alam mo naman, di ba,
Oo.
normally sa Philippines, marami nang gaganap na, marami nangyayaring medical negligence.
Yes.
Kasi may
yes, oo.
kakilala ko, Sir Sunny, na nagpagawa ng Barbie forehead, nagka-infection. Ayun.
Body, ano? Sorry? Body?
Barbie forehead.
Ano yun? Barbie forehead? Itong noo?
Yes, parang
Oh.
Barbie doll.
Oo, okay.
Yung lang ganun, sir, yung parang parang kinakaya yung noo mo para maging Barbie.
Yes, oo. Parang
Yun ang
Barbie.
tawag. Meron akong friend na trans na nagkaroon siya ng infection dahil sa ganon. So, parang inano yata niya yung doctor, siguro mga ₱500,000 yata yung hinihingi yung danyos.
Oo. Pero, nakakatakot na. Sa'yo, minsan yung mga 1 million, half a million, okay lang sana. Basta wag ka lang masira di ba?
Correct.
Yung bang hindi mo na, baka hindi na makorek Pag kinorek pa, lalo pang, di ba? Meron
Sir, di ba
mga ganyan
meron
cases.
kasi dyan, may famous dyan sa inyo na parang yung tinatawag nilang Barbie, yung Ken na taga UK, tapos ngayon trans na siya ngayon. Before, para siya yung ni Barbie, di ba si Ken, may Barbie tsaka si Ken. Parang yung kanyang iniidolo si Ken, so marami siyang mga operation ginawa. Tapos parang nagkaroon yata ng complication, gano'n.
Ang alam ko, may mga cases yata, hindi ko alam kung boob jobs na pinapagawa dyan sa, hindi ko alam kung Poland o kung saan ang lugar yun, kung Hungary, kung saang Eastern European country. Pag pumalpak, pinapasok sa NHS, pinapaayos ng mga ibang di ba?
Yes, maraming ganun, sir. Kaya.
Oo. Anyway, falling in love with your best friend's ex. Tama ba yun? Hindi ka ba nakaka-guilty ba yun? No? Pag-usapan natin, you could talk about anything. Gusto nyo, you wanna join in lang kayo sa, sa ating Zoom, no?
Yes.
Hindi ho mahirap ang Zoom.
Kaso sabi niya, sir, yung password daw niya mali. Yung pong password is puro capital letter po yung Pinoy.
Pinoy. Pinoy lang ho. Oo. May gustong sumali si Jerry Moises, no? Kanina, kasi kahapon may topic tayo kahapon. Ang topic August kahapon pag sobrang hilik nung partner mo o ng sweetheart mo, boyfriend o girlfriend, papakasalan mo pa ba? Kasi may mga cases kasi, lalo sa Pilipinas din yung mga annulment nun, pwede mo gawing reason ng annulment yung malakas maghilik. Ganun.
May ganun ba, sir?
Oo.
Diyos ko, buti na lang hindi ako dinidivorce kasi malakas din ako magilig lalo pag pagod.
Right. Oo. Hindi, yun nga.
Sa akin kasi, Sir Sunny, hindi lang hilik. Pag pagod na pagod ako, yun nagmamurmur ako, yun nagsasalita. Ganun ako.
Okay lang yun. Okay lang yun. Ano naman sinasabi mo raw? Hindi ka ba medyo ni-record?
Ay, hindi niya maintindihan. Sabi ko, i-record mo. One day, sabi ko,
murmur ka.
record mo.
Oo.
Para daw ako nagsasalita, sir, gano'n.
Ayan. Siya nga pala, for the first timers lang na nag-join sa Zoom, baka hindi marunong, no? Download nyo lang ho sa inyong mga mobile phones. Hindi nyo kailangan mag-sign up, mag-sign in, wala yan. Join meeting lang kayo kagad, pindutin nyo lang at ilagay nyo itong Zoom ID. Yan na ho ngayon ang pinakamakabagong paraan ng communication. Big broadcasters, BBC, Amerika, Pilipinas, lahat ho gumagamit ngayon ng Zoom. No? Kaya kailangan marunong na kayo. Teka muna, asa ba to?
With regards sa topic natin for tonight, sir, falling in
sige,
love
go,
with your
go.
best friend's ex, is it right? Naku, para sa akin, ang hirap sagutin kasi parang may kakilala kasi akong ganyan eh. Nakikinig sila ngayon. Tapos kung kaawayin ako, Sir Sandy. Pero, I think, wag na lang. Para sa delikadesa na lang yan. So, pag alam mo nang naging ex ang best friend mo, wag mo nang don't push through. Kasi syempre, parang awkward na awkward naman. Ang dami-dami naman siguro mga babae dyan o lalaki na pwede mo pang mahalin or pwede pang what I mean yung mag-grow pa yung relationship niyo. Pero pag alam mo ng ex ng best friend mo, tapos may in love ka pa, di ba parang nakakaloka naman, parang single white female ang drama. Kumbaga parang natikman na ng friend mo, titikman mo pa, di ba? So, kumbaga tumikim ka naman ng minudo, wag naman adobo. Yon. So, sa mga nakikinig ngayon, ng mga nanonood, magkomenta kayo dyan, tawag kayo sa Zoom ID 689-009-1378 at ang password, Pinoy, all capital letters.
Oo nga, all capitals daw, hindi pumapasok. Kaya all capitals, hindi small letters. Ayan.
Yes.
Falling in love with your best friend's ex, is it right? Kung hindi mo kilala, okay lang sa akin ha. Pero kung kilala mo, alam mong dating girlfriend, parang asiwa, di ba?
Hindi sir, paano kung hindi sige, kung hindi mo kilala, pero sinabi ng best friend mo, ay, ex ko yan before. Di ba parang awkward naman, Sir Sunny? Kumbaga parang,
Teka muna, pinag-usapan ba natin falling in love, liligawan? Kasi pag liligawan, may actual eh. Kunyari ako, may best friend ako. Sabi niya, uy, girlfriend ko dati si Cora. Kunyari, Cora pangalan. Alam ko na, di ba? Pero falling in love ba is nahulog ka na lang na in love o may effort ka rin? Nag-effort kayong dalawa? Nung ex niya, tsaka kunyari ex niya, tsaka yung ikaw. Niligawan mo, di ba?
Hindi, let's say for example, sir, let's say kunyari, yung best friend mo, kunyari ako taga dito ako, tapos yung best friend ko taga dyan sa UK. Ngayon, meron nung naka-chat, meron akong nagkaroon kami ng communication, na nanligo siya sa akin. Yung pala, nung nag-meet kami ng lalaki, sabi niya, tapos malalaman ko na lang, tapos sinend ko yung picture, let's say, sa best friend ko, tapos sabi ng best friend ko, ay, yung ex ko yan. So parang, awkward naman yung Sir Sunny, naging jowa na ng best friend mo, tapos jojowain mo pa.
Well, depende. Sa akin naman, pwede naman ang pagmamahal. Okay lang naman, di ba? Wala namang problema yon kung naging ex. Kaya nga lang, yung parang tinatawag na sometimes yung delikadesa ba? Nagkakahiyaan ba kayo? Di ba? Yun ang problema ron eh. Yun ang pinaka-concern doon.
Siyempre, minsan, Sir Sunny, isipin mo, pag nagsisex kayo yung kunyari, yung nag-boyfriend mo na.
Sex.
Kasi pa nagsisex na kayo ng boyfriend mo, na ex pala ng girlfriend mo, tapos nalaman mo na, ay, my God, ex pala siya ng best friend ko. Parang iniisip mo na nakikipag-sex ka sa nakasex na ng best friend mo. Di ba parang awkward naman?
Ano sinasabi yung feeling? Parang feeling na parang may naunahan ka na ng best friend mo. Parang, ano to?
Syempre, hindi mo masasabi yung mga chika-chika ng mga iba na,
yun ang kagandahan. Kanya-kanya tayo ng opinion, di ba? Yun ang kagandahan dito. We have different opinions, no? Dito sa ating topic. So, okay. Ito sandali ha.
Kasi meron akong friend, meron akong dalawang friend, Sir Sally. Itong best friend ko, itong friend ko talaga, meron siyang boyfriend. Kumaga, hindi naman boyfriend, or let's say mga tipong nag-date niya, yung talagang almost every pupunta sa kanya yung guy. Tapos nalaman na lang niya na itong guy pala, kinakarili din niya yung kaibigan nung friend ko. Di parang awkward naman, di ba, Sir Sunny? Kaya itong friend ko na nauna doon sa lalaki, itinigil na lang niya for the sake of delicadeza. So parang ganyan din niya. So, oo.
Okay. Well, teka muna, kausapin natin to. Kausapin ko lang to si Jerry Moises, no, mula sa Rochdale. Jerry, magandang gabi sa'yo. Hello, Jerry? Hello, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry. Wala nang naririnig si Jerry. Jerry! Jerry!
Kuya Jerry.
Jerry, hello! Wala kami marinig sa'yo.
Kuya, pindutin mo yung yung audio,
Yung mic or audio, pindutin
yung
mo.
mic.
Wala ka marinig sa amin? Wala ka marinig? Wala siyang naririnig. Oh, may mga tao siguro tong gabi na to puro bingi o kaya ano, no? Jerry, ayusin mo nga. Ayusin mo 'yan. Oh, ayusin mo 'yan, Jerry. Ayusin mo. Teka muna. Nakakatuwa naman talaga tayo August, no? Ayan. Alam mo, it will take a while siguro bago ma-perfect to, no? Itong mga Zoom. Kasi nauso yan
Pag time check muna tayo, sir. Today, here in Belgium is 9:58 p.m.
Oy,
And
9:58.
London is 8:58.
Teka muna, mag-ano tayo? Break. Bobloto lang sabi ko. Magbe-break tayo.
Sana okay na si Kuya Jerry mamaya. Kuya Jerry, ayusin mo yung Zoom mo.
Okay ka na ba, Jerry? Hindi, sandali. Tignan ko. Baka si Jerry. Jerry! Hello? Jerry?
Baka naman nakamute.
Jerry? Sandali. Isang mundo kaya ito na kausap natin ito si Jerry, no? Jerry! Jerry! Oh, wala.
Anyway, Sir Sunny, sabi pala ni Ate Jen Oliveros, yung topic daw natin for tonight is parang story daw ni Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise? Bakit? Tom Cruise yung artista? Tom Cruise?
Yes. So, in-love siya sa ex, siguro ba? Ate Jenny, please message us or comment kung ano yung kwento ni Tom Cruise na yan.
Maganda si Jenny last time, nung Friday yata, no? Si Jenny, first time natin, ang ganda sana kung nakausap. Jenny, pasok ka nga lang, please. Pasok ka lang. Maganda yung mo last time, no? Ito si Jerry Moises. Jerry, may problema ka. Oh. Pagka ganyan, August, no? Hindi mo naman dapat itapon yung cellphone mo kaya yung mga computer mo, no? Pagka hindi
ano lang yan, sir?
Adjustment lang. Jerry, dinig mo ba ako? Dinig mo kami? Pakikita ko lang mukha niya para malaman niya, Jerry, on air ka, wala ka naririnig? Wala. Hindi kaya baka may sira yung kanyang headset, no? Oo.
Kuya, baka may sira yung headset mo.
Wala kami marinig sa'yo. Pasok ka uli, no? Si Jerry Snisek, Jerry Oliveros, ano siya maayos siya last time eh. Subukan nating ipasok si Jenny, no? Jenny, pasok ka lang, no? Tawag ka lang sa atin. Nang sa ganun ay malaman natin, no? Kung okay. Kasi malalaman mo lang yan, August, pag pumasok yung ibang tao. Pero okay naman si kanina. Okay naman si, ano pangalan?
Patrick. Kuya Patrick.
Si Patrick. Okay naman. Perfect naman eh. No? Ano kayang nangyari dito? Maghihintay. But anyway, sige, talakayin natin. Tuloy mo rin yung pagtalakay, no? Habang ginagawa ko na paraan itong mga greetings natin, baka basahin na lang natin.
Yes, oo. So sa lahat ng mga nanonood, join in po kayo. Mag-share po kayo about sa aming topic or na-experience nyo na ba yung ganito? Na in love kayo sa ex ng best friend ninyo?
Oo. May problema
For
tayo
sure, alam ko marami dyan nakaka-relate.
May problema tayo kay Jerry. Isang gabing ngingiti ito eh. Puro ngiti lang to siguro ng ngiti sa atin. Jerry, ayan, siguro pasok ulitin mo. Redo it again. Ayan. Siguro si Jenny, kung nakikinig si Jenny, or anybody, sila Paul, sila Tom, pasok lang ho kayo, para nang sa ganun, ma-testing natin. Teka muna.
Shout out to Mercedes Alvarez. Buenas tardes. Tardes ba, sir? Good evening. Kasi meron tayong Espanyol lang na.
Yes. Okay. Pakisubukan lang. Pasok lang ho sa inyo. Yung ating mga kaibigan. No? Pasok lang ho tayo. Total, madali lang mga topic eh. Falling in love with your best friend's ex. Is it right, no? To fall in love. Ikaw, sinasabi mo, August, sex, no? Parang ang feeling kasi, parang naunahan, ganon?
Titimbangin mo lahat ng situation, sir. Titimbangin mo lahat ang pwedeng possibility na pagkasama mo yung ex ng best friend mo, lagi mong maalala na sila nung ex ng best friend mo, may mga nakaraan din sila na, mga moment din sila na syempre, parang, ay, ganito rin ba si best friend ko noon? Di ba? Parang, i-compare mo, may comparison.
Okay. Susubukan natin itong, Amik, papapasukin ko lang para lang ma-test lang na, no? Hindi naman natin, no? Subukan ko lang itong Oo. Ito, subukan ko lang siya ipasok, no? Sandali lang, ha? Sandali lang, sandali lang.
Good evening, paring Sunny. Okay na.
Oy, usus Mario Josep. Grabe naman
Ayan.
talaga.
Kuya
Pinasok ko ngayon,
Jerry,
gugulo
welcome.
tana, i-out ko kailangan tong mute ko to si si Amik, ayan, kasi pumasok nga pan-testing, bigla niyang hinabol. Okay. Sandali ha, sandali. Okay. Sige, sandali lang. Parang kasi nagulo tayo, bigla tayo nagwindang-windang no. Windang-windang tayo, sandali lang. Ano kaya ginawa nito? Kaya bumalik ang kanyang audio, no? Sandali lang. Kasi may... sandali lang, ha? Kasi baka biglang pumasok yung isa, no? Sandali lang. Spotlight. Ayan. Okay. Alright. Sige. Finally, ito. Ayan. Yes. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Ayan.
Hello.
Okay na,
Yes.
sir.
Hi. Okay.
Hello, paring Sunny. Good
Yes,
evening,
yes.
Matthew.
Oo, iba ang tinitingnan mo, parang malayo ang tingin mo, para kang sino yung kumanta ng malayo ang tingin.
Malayo ang tingin.
Ayan, oo. Wala
namang perang kukunin.
at sa gabi-gabi. Okay. Jerry, good evening. Jerry Moises from Rochdale. Ayun.
Good evening sa inyong dalawa.
Okay,
Good evening,
kumusta?
Kuya Jerry.
Kumusta?
Good evening, Dan.
Ito, gusto mo ba mag-react doon sa topic natin, Jerry, tonight? O doon sa kagabi yatang topic na... Ano ba topic natin kagabi? Ang topic natin was kung malakas maghilik... Hindi, kung malakas maghilik, ang iyong sweetheart, no? Papakasalan mo pa ba? Kasi yan ang isa sa mga dahilan ng divorce din, no? Yung malakas maghilik, no? Kasi kung hindi ka nakakatulog, magiging patpat ka, ting-ting ka, mamatay ka ng pneumonia siguro. O titibihin ka dahil puyat ka, hindi ka makatulog na maayos dahil sa asawa mo, no? Would you like to react to the topic tonight or tomorrow's, last night's?
Yes, paring Sunny. Gusto kong mag-comment doon sa sinabi mo.
Saan?
Dahil,
Dalawa sinabi ko. Saan?
Doon nga, sa topic last night.
Oh, sa topic last night. Oh, sige. Go. Ayan, oo.
Kasi, siyempre, sa pagsasama nyo, kailangan naman talaga pag-iintindihan eh. Hindi naman porke nag-ihilik na, kailangan lang ay pag-iintindi rin. Pero dapat, ang kailangan lang ay pag-iintindi ng asawa rin. Kung may problema yung lalaki o yung babae naghihilik din, kailangan lang ng talagang ipasuri sa doktor para mapa-advise kung ano yung dapat na gawin o ibigay sa kanya na tabletas o kaya yung tinatawag nating nose clip, di ba?
May nose clip?
So may
lalagyan ng clip sa ilong, ganun?
Sa ilong.
Meron kasi nung nakita ko sa meron siyang parang sa online, meron silang binibili na yung nose clip para yung pag snore mo, malimitahan, yung paghinga mo, mas mabuti.
Ikaw ba malakas ka maghilik? Guilty ka ba riyan? O yung misis mo ang malakas maghilik?
Pagka talagang sobrang pagod ko sa work, nagkakahil talaga ako.
Nangyari na ba na hindi ka tinabihan ng misis mo dahil sa lakas mo maghilik? Parang paggising mo ng umaga, ba't diyan ka natutulog sa sofa? Hindi ka ba nagulat one time?
Hindi pa naman ako nakick-out sa
Wala pang ganyan. Wala ka pa naranasan ganyan?
Wala pa naman.
Wala pa, by the way, ilang taon ka na rin sa UK para lang curious lang tayo. Siyempre, lahat tayong mga Pinoy nandito sa Europe at gusto natin malaman kung gaano katagal ka na tayo dito, no? Naninirahan.
Way back 2001.
2001.
2001 ako dumating dito.
Matagal na rin.
Galing kami ng Singapore mag-asawa. I was working in Singapore Airport before as a technical officer Then si Mrs. naman, nagwo-work na siya sa hospital noon sa Changi General Hospital.
Okay, well, okay. That's good, no? Magta 20 years na kayo next year, di ba?
Oh, 20 years.
2001, 2021.
Grabe,
No?
bilis ng panahon, ano? We
Napakabilis ng
started
panahon.
talking
Years.
2009 when you started the
Oo.
the Pinoy Radio UK.
One of our very first listeners to si August, si Jerry, si August, yan. Si August naman
Wow.
kasama rin natin. Oo, biro mo, ilang taon na rin. Tagal na rin, no? Mga 10, 11 years na, biruin mo yan, no? At hindi ba ako nagbago?
Naubos.
Mas lalo ba akong
Parang
gumandang
naubos
lalaki?
na nga yung buho ko tinan mo.
And then, okay lang yan.
Nako.
Uy, Jerry,
Dalawang dekada na.
thank you very much for joining in. Sana ganyan ka on a regular. I'd like to encourage our kababayans na magkatuwaan tayo rito. No? Wala namang mahirap dito sa ating programa. Napakadali ng topic natin. Mag-ugnay-ugnay tayo. Gawin natin programa nating lahat to. May babatiin ka? Go right ahead, please. O may mga mensahe ka? Go right ahead.
Gusto ko lang mag-shoutout sa mga taga-Rochdale at meron kaming meron kaming paring sana yung business namin. Nagsimula lang kami 3 weeks ago.
Business.
Yung aming pandesal at ensamada, pumutok siya sa Manchester tsaka sa buong Greater Manchester. Hopefully mag-ano kami sa London, business venture din para yung masarap yung aming pandesal tsaka ensamada. One of
Kayo
those days
gumagawa?
siguro,
Ikaw ang gumagawa?
kung
Kayo
makakarating
gumagawa?
sa'yo, papadalang kita.
Kayo gumagawa?
Ako mismo nagbagawa tsaka si
ang galing.
Mrs.
Ang galing. August, kita mo, ha?
Wow.
Ba?
Kuya Jerry, ako din padalan mo, ha?
Oba.
Paborito ko pa naman ang
Kailangan mo ng
ensaymada.
address nyo, tsaka
Belgium
para
yan.
makipadala natin siya.
Belgium yan. Uy, okay yan. Hindi, August, alam mo kung bakit? Kasi yung Romulo Cafe, talagang yan, pandesal ang kanilang, yung Romulo Cafe,
Alam mo, sir,
pandesal ang
sana yan naman ang gusto nating lahat pandesal. With
Yes,
matching
oo.
kape.
So, meron kang malaki-laking oven dyan sa bahay mo?
Pag natikman mo yung pandesal ko, nako, sigurado.
Galing.
Babalik-balikan mo. August, babalik-balikan nyo.
Uy,
Wow.
Ang lasa niya.
may masarap dyan sa...
Hindi mo na kailangan magpalaman.
May masarap dyan, August, sa may Manchester. Ha? Alam mo ba yun? Yung KK ni Amy Bailey, yung KK niya. Pag natikman mo, sarap. Oo, yung
Actually,
KK.
sir, sa amin sa Belgium, may mga kitinda ng ganyan, kaya lang hindi ko nagugustuhan pa yung iba. So, pag natikman ko yung pandesal ni Kuya Jerry, gagawa ko yan ng vlog.
Yes.
Definitely.
Definitely. Yeah.
Biro mo si Jerry, more than 10, 11 years na nating kasama rito sa nanonood, nakikinig. Ngayon, Jerry, gumanda ba akong lalaki?
Mas magumanda lalaki ka sa akin.
Hindi, kasi puro tayo audio dati ngayon. Nakakita na tayo ngayon. Hindi kaya sabi nila, Diyos ko.
Audio lang eh.
Diyos ko. Naku, teka muna na. Nakita na namin sa Sunny Laragan. Teka muna, wag na lang. Diba? Wag na natin panoorin. So, anyway, Jerry, thank you very much.
Yung boses mo pa rin, yung pa rin. Magandang lalaki pa rin ang boses.
Thank you very much. Mabuhay, ha. Sana lumago yung iyong pandesal business. At, diba? Ano pangalan ng pandesal mo? Jerry's Pandesal o Moises Pandesal?
Hindi, meron kami pangalan. Carlos Pandesal at iba pa.
Carlos Pandesal at iba pa. Galing, galing.
Yung Carlos, yung dalawang anak ko. Carlos parehas. Carlo yun eh.
Malay mo, August, ha? Ngayon, kausap natin siya live ngayon. 5 taon from now. Baka mamaya, isa ng pinakamalaking panadero rito. Si Jerry, di ba? Hindi natin malaman. Hindi natin masabi. Minsan, sabi nga ni Rizal, go forth and parang go young man and go into business. Kasi nga, ang sabi nila, pag nasa negosyo ka, yan ang mas malaking pagkaka-chance mo para yumaman. Di ba? Hindi ka yayaman kung namamasukan ka, sabi nga nila.
Hindi tayo na yayaman daw sa pagkatrabaho lang eh.
Ayun, maganda yan.
Looking
forward to Carlos Pandesal at iba pa.
At iba pa.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Pinoy Pandesal yan.
Pinoy Pandesal. Mabuhay. You take care, Jerry, ha? Join ka lagi, ha? Pagka may libre ka, ha? Please, ha?
Naman.
May topic tayo, ha?
Pag-free, ha?
Mabuhay. Sige. Take care. God bless, no? Ayan, mga kaibigan. Jerry Moises.
Ay, shoutout sa mga bibili ng mga pandesal at ensamada ko for the last 3 weeks. Maraming salamat sa inyo, Ate Lenny, at sa mga taga sina Ate Sue from Manchester.
Yes.
At
Si Suwood.
yung
Suwood ba
mga
yan?
taga,
Suwood?
taga Wittenshaw as well.
Okay.
Altrincham.
Ba, mabuhay kayo. Mabuhay
Okay,
kayo,
salamat.
mga tumangkilik
Sa inyo
ng
lahat.
pandesal at ensaymada ni Jerry. Mabuhay ho kayo, no? Bigyan nyo siya ng rating na mataas. 5 rating pagka meron siyang sa
Yeah.
Trust Pilot. Ha?
Thank you, thank you.
Mabuhay, mabuhay. You take care. Ayan. August.
Salamat din sa inyo. Take care do.
Salamat. Ayan. Kita mo naman, August, ha?
Actually, sir, yun naman talagang paborito nating lahat. Pandesal, ensaymada, ayan,
Oo.
pan de coco.
Pandukoko.
Diba?
Ayan, oo. Yes, siyempre. Ako talaga gusto ko yung pandesal talaga. Weakness ko yung pandesal
Oo.
Ensaymada.
Actually, kasi marami na ngayon nauuso ngayong pandesal. Meron na mga ubi pandesal, ubi cheese pandesal. Even
Oo.
Ay de las Alas is selling also pandesal, ubi pandesal.
Oo, yes.
Oo.
Okay. Ito ano lang natin, sandali ano lang natin to so okay na tong siya, no? Okay. Right, sandali lang. Balik lang natin to sa Okay, pasok natin tong para may mag-react lang kasi tumawag siya para hindi no. Pagbigyan natin ano oras na ba? Uy, ano na pala tayo, no? Okay, maski mabilis lang i-accommodate natin tong ating kaibigan si Amik kasi nga nanawagan tayo. Tawag kayo kahit tawag kayo. Ayun, tumawag nga siya, no. Amik, good evening. Magandang gabi sa'yo.
Ayan, galing pa yata ng trabaho si Kuya Amik.
Teka na, sorry, yung mic. Okay. Hello, Amik, good evening. Ayan. Good evening, Amik. Yes. Ba't wala siyang audio?
Wala kang audio, Kuya Amik.
Wala siyang audio. Ask to unmute. Dapat siya mag-unmute. Yun. Siya
Okay
kailangan.
na.
Ayun, okay. Amik, good evening. Oo. Mag-react ka lang mabilis
Good evening,
dito sa...
good evening, August.
Oo. Yeah,
Good evening, Kuya Amik. Yes.
Yeah.
Oo.
Nabubukan ko talagang tumawag dahil akala ko nagkakaproblema sa signal at saka nagstay ako dahil kahit wala nang problema si paring Jerry dahil na din ako na interested ako sa topic.
Oo nga. Nung pumasok, nagulat ako naman nung biglang pinapasok na kita dahil nga para matesting kung may diferensya ba tayo, no? Pero wala naman sa atin. Nasa viewers natin ang problema. So, anyway, Amik, sige, if you wanna react to the topic, falling in love with your best friend's ex, tama ba yan?
Kung as the topic itself, it says falling in love. So, kung hindi ako ma-in love sa ex ng best friend ko, kanino? In love ka na so andiyan na yan. So, accept it.
Ayun. Oo. Yun nga ang sinasabi ko sa August kanina. Kung e-effort mo ba liligawan o bigla lang nag-fall in love, no? Kung alam mong kunyari, ganito, hindi ka pa falling in love, alam mong girlfriend dati ng best friend mo, would you exert, let's say, alam mong break na sila, tuwan-tuwa ka pa, maaring type, may ganun, August maaring type mo yung girlfriend ng, o boyfriend ng friend mo, no? Type mo, nung magka-break sila, natuwa ka, siguro. Liligawan mo ba?
Nako.
Amik, ikaw, liligawan mo? Nag-break sila.
Pero siguro ako sa best friend ko kahit ex na niya. Pare, medyo tinamaan ako ng ex mo, baka pwedeng ligawan. Unless kung ikaw ang third party na nagkahiwalay sila, yun ang pangit. Pero pag hindi lang naman, for some other reason na nagkahiwalay sila. Pero honestly, I will respect my best friend kahit ex na niya. Pare, baka kasi isipin niyo ba na matagal ka na sigurong baka matagal ka na sigurong may pagnanasa sa girlfriend ko kaya pag ang bilis lang nung naghiwalay kami ka kaagad nakasalisi ka kaagad
hindi mo ba bibigyan ng pagkakataon baka bigyan sabihin ng boyfriend mo teka muna yung kaibigan mo teka muna hindi mo man lang kami binigyan ng time na magkapag-reconcile bigla kang sumingit baka ganon kung nagpaalam sa'yo parang ganon gusto pare
yun na nga siguro
ligawan
for the reason na sasabihin ko sa kanya dahil talagang na ba yan o gusto mo pang balikan or you have to settle something pa kasi kung talagang para sa iyo ay wala na talaga at least give you a chance kung sa iyo kung baka gusto mo pa well Then after that, kung talagang sabihin mo na ayaw mo na talaga, papaalam ako sa'yo, baka pwede kong ligawan. At least
Ayan.
ikaw, hindi napunta sa iba yung ex mo.
Ayan. Okay, well, shout out, Amik, baka may gusto ka i-shout out dyan, no? Sige.
Well, okay, sa lahat ng nanonood, salamat. Marami kasing nanonood na nakita ko kanina, maraming viewers na taga dito sa Northwest at saka Northeast. So magandang gabi sa inyong lahat at maraming salamat sa pagsuporta nyo. Subaybayan nyo lang palagi, patuloy nyo kaming suportahan pati sa YouTube para sa inyo ito ang programa nyo. Kaya patuloy lang tayo mga kababayan. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Sa inyo, Sir Sunny, August. Good evening. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. Thank you. Yan, si Amik
Yes. Good
Casiniego.
evening po. Uwi na yata si Kuya Amik.
Mahusay si Amik sa mga ganyan pagka nagre-react, no, sa ating mga topics, no.
Pagdating sa mga ganyang pag-ibig.
Pag-ibig ba? Parang sinabi. Grabe ka naman. Oo. Hindi, romantiko yan kasi tao na yan, napaka-romantiko yan, no? Kumbaga, nung kabataan niya, medyo, siya, no? Nagbago na, kumbaga. Okay. Siyempre, lahat naman tayo pagbata pa, di ba? Masyadong...
marupok.
Marupok.
Para si Kuya, in fairness, hi Kuya Jessie. I know you're watching right now. Ang ganda pala ng misis ni Kuya Jessie. Beautiful.
Yes. Si Jessie, actually, nag-react siya ng Monday, no? Sabi nga, kasi nga, dahil ang goal natin ngayon, we will have to have some, parang, yung i-allow yung iba naman mag-host, no? Mag-co-host lang muna sa atin. So, si Jessie, sabi niya, okay lang, no? We allotted kagabi, kasama natin si si David Hart, no? Isa dun sa mga nabiyayaan ng aking sinet up nung araw. So training program nila diyan sa Shopsville, no? Okay, may mga pagbati rito. Let's make way sa mga pagbati rito. Asan na ba 'yan? Ito, okay. Ito, batiin natin itong mga kaibigan natin dito. Irene Duway, no? Si Irene Duway. Ayan. Nasaan ba nakalagay yung message niya? Nakikita mo ba, August?
Hindi siya
Wala pa. Hindi pa natin napapasok, no? Si Irene Duway, hanapin natin ang kanyang reaction. Okay, saan na ba yan? Baka may babatiin ka muna habang hinahanap ko lang yung isang baka may mga pagbati ka dyan from your end, no?
Yes. GMGM, thank you for watching from Canada. Ayan. Angela Mandiit. Riel Matangulihin. Ayan. Mercedes Alvarez.
Ano pangalan nun?
Ayan.
Matang ano?
Riel Matangulihan. Ayan. Ang hirap basahin sa yung pinili niya. Ayan. Ayan, si Angela Mandiit, nanonood po yung aking best friend, si Angela.
Ayan, okay.
Kasi na-experience siya yung ganyang eksena eh.
Wow.
Falling in love with your best friend ex. Is it right?
Sometimes it happens you have a crush o type mo yung ng boyfriend ng friend mo, no? O girlfriend niya o boyfriend niya, depende kung anong sex ka, no? Ayan. Ito, si Irene Duway, asawa ni ni Edgar.
Ayan. Good evening, Kuya Sana, and all the viewers from Ate Irene Duway. Ayan. Good evening sa inyo, Tita Irene.
Ayan. Ito, talagang very, natin to, talagang
good evening, Sana, and everybody. Galing po kay Tita, yan, sir? Emmeline o Emmeline?
Emmeline Rafael, yes. Emmeline Rafael.
Yes.
Ayan. Okay, si Anna Butler.
Ganda naman kayo ng apelido. Good evening and keep safe everyone from Anna Butler.
Ayan. Ito si Alexander Onrubia Villena.
Good evening po, Sir Sunny. Kay Kule Alexander. Mga taga-London ba yan, sir?
Alexander Onrubia Villena. Yes. Yan.
Good evening po. Greetings from Surcell, from Joseph Coy.
Uy, Joseph ha, mabuhay ka. Alam mo si Joseph, believe ako dito kay Joseph ha. Very regular viewer natin. Mabuhay, Joseph, no? Ayan, Benjamin Eclarin.
Listening from Rome, Italy, from Benjamin Eclarin. Ito ba yung asawa nung ano sir, nung newscaster from ABS-CBN?
Hindi. Si Eclarinal yun, no? Eclarinal yun. Si Rose
Eclarin pa
Eclarinal.
yun.
Eclarin yan.
Kala-
Eclarin. Hindi ko alam kung bago nating viewer to, no? But good evening, ha? Kung you're
Good evening po Kuya
nice, ha?
Benjamin.
Oo, nandi-discover tayo. Ayan.
Miss you, Attorney Dana. Galing po
Oy.
kay Kuya Anik Garciniego. Ayan.
Ito, yung si ano no, ito si Carl Vic no, nice tea. Meron kaming nice tea dito, mga bubble teas to. Nandiyan ngayon sa may ano, Portobello. No, maganda to. Pagka
Ay, yung sinasabi mo, Sir Sunny, na yung lugar na kung saan ay marami mga
Oo.
different foods, di ba?
Ayan.
Hello po, Kuya, from Nace Thai. Ay, Nace Tea.
Nay, parang nanay kasi nice tea, nanay. Nanay tea yan, parang ganun. Okay,
Isa sa mga
ayan.
regular watcher natin to si Tita Jen Oliveros. Good evening, Sir Sunny, gandang 8. Also, Attorney Dana
Jen.
and guest Angel.
Pasok lang kayo sa Zoom natin. Napakadali hong pumasok sa Zoom natin. 689-009-1378. Kabisado ko na yung numero, no? Pinoy ho, all capitals, no? Ayan. Nabasa mo na ba itong kay, kay Jerry Moises? Yung kinakausap natin kanina. Yung merong...
Ay, Zoom ID. Friend Sunny, please.
Ayan. Ito, ayan.
Si Tita Darlene. Good evening all. Birthday po niya kahapon, sir. Happy birthday, ating Darlene.
Hindi, ngayon yata birthday niya. Kahapon ba ngayon? Parang na-advance. Darms, happy birthday. Happy birthday sa'yo. Happy birthday. Darmin, pati si yung little girl din yata, nag-celebrate ng birthday nung nakaraan, di ba? Si little girl. Ito, gising pa yata to. From Manila. Yes. QZ.
Ayan, si Kuya Jan Padilla, mabuhay from Quezon City, Philippines.
Ayan, Ito, na-guess natin kagabi, kumanta to yung si Mia Libroho, yung daughter niya. Mahusay yung bata, Yan, yung tatay niya bumati sa atin.
Hi, Sir Sunny. Good evening po. Another great show. Happy viewing, mga kababayan worldwide. Stay safe, everyone. From Rudy Libroho.
Yes.
So, meron siya yung anak kagabi. Sa anak niya yung kumanta kagabi.
Yung dalawa kasi kumanta kagabi, maski paano nakatulong tayo, well, especially kay nakatulong tayo doon kay Camille, no? Dahil sa kanyang pagsali sa kanta in Giro. So,
Giro, yes.
Giro.
Sana mag-guest ulit natin siya. Oo.
Yes, kagabi kumanta sila, 2 kanta, 3 kanta, pati si Mia, no? Kumanta sa atin. Mia, at dahil doon, na-inspire si merong isang tayong viewer na sabi niya, Sir Sunny, o kaya, bakit hindi mo gawan ng parang, pangalan, may title siyang ginawa, parang Pinoy Talent, Pinoy Got Talent on Pinoy Radio UK. So, ang gusto niyang mangyari, suggest, magkaroon kung yung mga talents, maski ng talents, arts, or I don't know kung paano, magsayaw o kumanta, i-feature natin dito. Yung mga talents.
Sir, kakaiba naman ang pangalan nito.
Gusto ko, Ems yan. Ang pangalan niya Ems. Ano ba yan? Kasidsid? Ganyan ba? Lavis. Grabe naman mga pangalan talaga.
Parang binaligtad niya, sir, yung pangalan niya.
Ems yan.
Sid Labiste.
Labiste, okay. Ito naman.
Pinahirapan tayo. Ayan.
Ito sa YouTube. Galing to sa YouTube. Rose Hubs, mabuhay, no?
Magandang gabi, Sir Sunny. Gandang also to Attorney Dana and to your guest, Angel. Happy watching with my hubby, Chris, and our daughter, Lizzie, next to me. Wishing everyone are having a good night.
Chris and Lizzie, mabuhay. Nako, may friends tayo dyan. Taga saan ba kayo, Rose, no? Anong part sila, Rose? Ito, love ko tong tao to na mimiss natin to. Meron silang grupo ng araw, Debug, mga photographers na Pinoy to. Tinamaan to, itong babasahin mo ngayon, tinamaan to ng COVID. Muntik nang mamatay ito. Itong
si Cesar Mayet de Velasco.
Velasco. Mayet, si misis niya. Si Cesar Velasco. Magtataka ka riyan, malakas, laki ng katawan, malakas yan, martial artist, tinamaan. And ang tagal niyang
saan daw niya nakuha, sir? Saan daw niya nakuha, sir? Sa tingin
Mayet,
niya?
pero Mayet tuloy. Cesar, siguro bukas makakausap lang to, no? At Oo, nakaka-shock tong nangyari dito kay ano.
Ako nga din, sir, kasi I have a friend in Dubai na nag-positive din sa COVID. Di rin niya alam na ganun daw pala grabe. Kasi malusog din yung friend ko, kaya lang nagkaroon din siya. Ang sinabi niya lang sa akin, Sir Sunny, parang wala lang, para lang daw niyang feeling ninalagnat siya. Then pagka uwi niya, nagkaroon siya ng fever, nasubo na ng ubo, yun na yun. Tinamaan na siya
Okay.
ng cough.
Oh, siya nga pala yung aking kaklase ng elementary, si Sonny rin, Melquiades Sonny Bonifacio. Yumao na, no? Barangay captain to sa Caloocan. Kaklase ko, no? Elementary, August, namatay sa COVID. Yun ang balita. Sabi na iba naman pulmonya. Pero usually di ba, pagka COVID ang tinatamaan niya, yung mga may sakit na yung kunyari pulmonya ka.
Yes.
'Di ba?
Correct.
Yun ang mga usually tinatamaan. Kaya tayo ay nagpapaabot ng ating ano ba sa Tagalog ng condolences?
Pakikiramay.
Yun, pakikiramay. Alam mo, dapat natin pag-aralan ng Tagalog, August, no?
Yes.
Ang aming pakikiramay,
Sir Sunny,
no?
shoutout ko lang yung kumare ko, yung lagi nakikinig sa atin before noon, si Cathy Vallejos. Hi, Cathy! Kumaring Cathy, thank you for watching. Alam ko,
Mabuhay, Cathy,
maganda ngayon dyan sa LA, kaya nakakapapanood siya ngayon. Yan.
At saka batiin din natin si Chris, no? Si Chris Chris Hubs. Chris Hubs, thank you, no? Thank
Yes,
you for
hi,
watching with
Chris.
your wife Rose and daughter Lizzie, no? Nakakatuwa yung buong... Alam mo, nung araw, August, when I was doing a show sa Pilipinas sa WIC, alam mo, nagpapasalamat sa akin yung mga lolo. Yung mga lolo, tatawag sa akin sa show ko, August, sabihin nila, Sonny Laragan, thank you very much. Nagpapasalamat kami sa iyo. Bakit? Bakit po? Kasi dahil sa programa mo, hindi na lumalabas yung mga apo ko. Hindi na raw
Nakikinig na
tumatambay.
lang sila.
Oo, nakastambay na sa gabi. Oo. Kasi 9 o'clock din yung show ko na sa IC. Alam mo, lagari ako na August, ha? Alam mo ba lagari ako? Kasi sa umaga, nasa KYFM ako. Nandun sa may nasa may Pasig, dyan sa may Ortigas Center. Pagdating ko ng gabi, nandun ako sa may Veterans Village, Project 4. Dahil andun nung araw ang DCRH, DWIZ. So lagari ako, may pasok ko ng gabi. Sa AM yon, may show ko ng FM sa umaga. So sa gabi naman, English ako nun doon. No? English dahil siyempre, KYFM eh. Pagdating sa gabi, Tagalog, no? Ganto. At nag-enjoy ako. Alam mo, buo pa rin yung aking mga parang, sabi ko ba, fans o listeners or ano, no?
Yung mga nakikinig sa'yo before, yes.
Oo, nakakatuwa yung ganun. Kaya't mabuhay kayo. Ito pa rin
Kaya nga
ako.
itong itong si Kumaring Kati, nakikinig talaga sa atin to ever since. Doon pa to yung night jam natin. Tsaka sa programa ko before na Itchusera Live. So, Maring Kati, thank you for always supporting.
Oh, eto may humabol. Parang ano yata, siguro may humabol eh. Pahabulin natin.
Pasok natin, sir.
Oo, dahil pag ito hindi natin pinahabol, wala na. Hindi na tayo kikilalanin ito dito sa ating programa. No? Hulaan mo.
Hulahan ko.
Hulaan mo. Hulaan mo.
Si Kuya Edgar yan.
Hulaan mo kung sino papasok, ha? Titingnan natin, ha? Ang galing. Alam mo, August, kung meron tayong pa-premyo at pa-contest, panalo ka na kagad. Speaking of the devil comes, no? Ito. Oo, ayan. Ito na. Ewan ko ba? Okay, hello. Good evening. Ayan. Good evening. Ano ba yan? Flash?
Ano ba to?
Flash ba yan?
Ay, hindi,
Si Flash?
sir. Ulahan ko to. Si ano to? Si Captain
Flash?
Barbell?
Barbell ba yan? Flash? Ano bang, ano? Alam mo, ikaw ba na bata ka? Ikaw ba, ano bang suot mo nung araw ka? Ng bata ka ba? August.
Ako, sir, Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman yan.
Wonder Woman. Alam na. Diyos ko, alam na.
Si Darna yan, si Darna.
Darna,
Thank you for watching from Paris. And Mary Ann Kramer Passion, thank you for watching from the Netherlands.
Oy, mabuhay. Batiin mo ulit, habang para nakikita ka, batiin mo ulit. Isang pasada.
Yes.
Kasi,
Mary Ann Kramer Passion from the Netherlands, thank you for watching. Si Ulo Rodriguez from Paris, France. Ayan.
Oy, good evening.
Thank you for watching. And Jan Romel, ano ba pinili ni Jan? From New York City. Ayan. Thank you for watching.
Ano ka, si Flash, si Captain America, sino ka ba? Hindi ba? Sino ba yan?
Flash.
Flash, tama ako. Tama ako.
Tama ka.
Tama ako. Dahil nahulaan mo si Edgar ang pumasok. Ako naman, nahulaan ko si Flash.
Ayan.
Edgar,
At Lisa, thank you for watching. Yan.
Ayan. Ilan ang collection mo ng ganyan, Edgar? Paano yan?
Dalawa lang.
Ano dalawa lang? Ano yung sinuot mo nung unang makita ka namin noon na parang pagkadilim-dilim noon? Na hindi natuloy yata? Oo. Ano suot mo noon?
I'm Batman.
Batman?
I'm Batman.
Oh, Batman, oo.
Iba tong trip ni Kuya Edgar eh.
Okay ba trip niya?
Nahihiya yung kalahati ng mukha ko eh.
Pero okay yan. O sige, Edgar, falling in love with your best friend's ex, is it right? What do you think?
Andali sir, tanong natin,
Oh.
nangyari na ba sa kanya?
Nangyari na ba sa'yo? Ayan, okay.
Nung kabataan mo?
Hindi.
Ay, hindi.
Hindi.
Dalawa lang naging girlfriend ko eh.
Alam ko, ikunento mo yung tungkol sa ngipin mong nahulog eh. Iba pa yun, di ba? Di ba?
Iba
May
yun.
type kang babae na sayang, di ba? Nag-swimming pa kayo, kinuha ng ipis. Tama ba yan? Di ba?
Oo.
Naalala mo yun? Yung tinakay ng
Totoo
ipis.
yun.
Oo, di ba?
Yun yung funniest mo.
So, sir, sa akin ko naman, ibinubo ko si Kuya Edgar in public.
Hindi, kasi noon, meron siyang type na
Hindi,
babae.
senior ko yun, August.
Hindi mo ba alam yung August? Hindi,
Hindi ko alam.
Oo, hindi kasi nga nag-ano
Hindi
siya,
mo napanood.
nag-swimming siya, may babae siyang nataypan, tapos tinabi niya yung ngipin niya for some reason na ano. Paano nga palang nabali yung ngipin mo? Anong nangyari?
No,
Pero
hindi
sir,
kasi
tama.
company outing yun.
Hindi, outing yun eh. Di ba sabi mo nga, di ba?
So, company outing yun, tapos kumakain kami, tapos biglang nabali on the way to the resort. Nabali yung post-it ko right in between.
Oo nga, oo.
So, dinikit ko lang ng bubble gum.
Dinikit niya na bubble gum, may nataypan siyang magandang babae.
Tapos on the way, doon
Oo.
nung nakarating na kami sa beach, tapos doon sa katabi ng opposite ng cottage namin, merong isang magandang babae na nakikipagtinginan sa akin.
Ayun, oo. Grabe.
Ayun.
Pero ang ngipin niya na nasa bubble gum ng ngipin niya no dahil ano, nung nakikipagngitian siya.
Dinikit ko lang.
Oo.
Nagpunta ako sa beach, na sumunod yung babae, tapos nagpakitang gilas ako, nag-swimming ako. Nakainom ako ng tubig na paubo ko, tumalsik yung kalahati.
Teka muna, yung ngipin mo na tinangay ng ipis ba yon? Nasa beach pala, hindi sa swimming pool.
Hindi, yun yung kalahati. Yung kalahati, yun yung tumalsik sa beach. So, hindi ko na nakapagpakilala doon sa girl kasi naiya na ako kasi nawala na yung kalahati ng ngipin ko. Sa frustration ko, nag-swimming ako ng hating gabi, nilagay ko yung kalahati doon sa ibabaw ng malapit sa swimming pool. Tapos pagkatapos ko mag-swimming after an hour, tinangay pala ng ipis. Kasi hindi ko na makita kung nasaan.
Tinangay,
Sir, sana ganun. Yung sabihin, sir, yung ngipin ni Kuya Edgar, hindi mabigat. Kasi kung post-it niya, alam mo naman kaya ng ipis yun.
Pero ang ginawa niya, nung kinuha ng ipis, kinabit niya kagad. Hindi niya na sinawsaw sa tubig. Talaga kinabit niya dahil kailangan matakpan kagad. Di ba?
Nagtaka ako, August, nung wala na. Tapos nakita ko 5 feet away, tinatangay ng ipis dun doon sa ibabaw ng poste. Sa galit ko, kinuha ko yung postiso ko, sinubo ko, tapos dinurog ko yung ipis.
Sayang yung babae.
Tapos sabay talon ulit sa swimming pool.
Sayang yung ano. Hindi, yun ang pag-ibig na, kung sa palagay mo kaya, kung medyo maayos ang ngipin mo na gabi na yun ang mapapangasawa mo.
Baka nakilala ko yung girl. Torpe kasi ako kaya nagpapakit lang ako nun magaling ako lumangoy kaso sa sobrang nakainom ng tubig. Napaubo ko, tumalsik yung kalahati.
Hindi, akala niya, Edgar, akala niya nagloloko tayo. Hindi, totoong story yun. True story yun.
Yun yung topic namin, the funniest embarrassing moment of your life eh.
Funniest moment in your...
Yun yung topic natin.
Naluha sa'yo si August tuloy. Parang Diyos ko, Lord. Oo. Hindi, kasi nga, ako man mapunta sa lugar ni...
Kaya ako natutuwa kasi meron ako napanood kanina sa YouTube na ganyan yung pustiso, kinakabit niya. Imagine, nag-viral. Di ba? May kanyang followers. Kayo, Kuya Edgar, advice ko sa'yo, gawin mo yan.
Wala na. 2000 pa yun eh. Anong year ba yun? Maalala mo, Edgar?
Matibay na ngayon.
Hindi, ibig sabihin, anong panahon yan? Anong time yung pinag-uusapan nating year? Anong year yung pinag-uusapan natin?
I think 1997. 1997.
97. Oh, 2007, 2000. Well, 20 plus years, 22, 23, 24 years ago. 25, no? O, 23 years.
Dapat
pa ako
ano ka
nun,
na ngayon, Kuya Edgar?
eligible bachelor pa ako doon.
Yes, oo. Pero yan, yung kwento mo naman talagang, very authentic yun. One of those funniest mga stories na napakinggan natin. Dahil imagine mo, nag-swimming siya. Tinangay pa ng ngipis yung kanyang ipin niya.
Hindi ako makapaniwala sa galit ko. Dinurog ko yung pagkasubo ko ng pustiso ko, dinurog ko yung ipis. Nasabay talon sa swimming pool.
At saka ang kagandahan pa noon, August, ginamit pa rin, kasi nagbiyak sa gitna . So, siya ng bubble gum, kinabit niya. Yun na parang paraan niya. Parang,
for emergency. Pinagtatawanan pa ako ng mga kasamahan ko kasi boss nila ako at gano'n na kalahati na yung ngipin.
Pero okay lang. Those are things that happen. Okay naman yun. Ganun talaga. Okay. Edgar, falling in love with your best friend's ex, would you go for it? Tama ba yan? Is it right? Does it feel right?
Okay, kasi ganito yun Kung since best friend mo yan, there's a possibility na ma-in-love ka rin sa gusto niya o magustuhan mo yung gusto niya. Ngayon, kung seryoso yung relasyon niya, tapos for delikadesa, katulad nga ni Amik, wag mo nang ligawan. Pero kung sabi pala ni August, wag mo nang ligawan for delikadesa. Pero kung hindi naman seryoso yun,
ako nagsabi
sabihin mo doon sa best friend mo. Kung
okay.
pwede ba? Total, magkaibigan naman kayo, magkakaunawaan kayo. Kaysa ligawan mo nang di mo sinasabi, mag-aaway kayo ng best friend mo. Nasa pag-uusap yun. Kung hindi seryoso yung naging relasyon nila, baka siguro may posibilidad na pwede.
Kung sabihin ng boyfriend
malay mo kayong mag-work.
Pero kung sabihin ng best friend mo, pare, ang bilis naman, baka magkabalikan pa kami. Let's just say, nagkabalikan. Nagkabalikan.
Hindi pa pwede. Stand down.
Stand down ka. Titiisin mo na lang. Kunyari,
pag
type
ganun,
mo yung...
wag na. Gawin mo na, tumingin ka na lang sa iba. Wag mo nang ituloy. Kasi magkakasira kayo ng best friend mo Hindi worth it yun.
Ayun, oo. Hindi ka ba nainitan
hindi mo naman sigurado kung seryoso ka din sa babae o in love ka talaga. Infatuation lang yun.
Okay. Hindi ka ba nainitan
kailangan alam mo yung definition ng love.
Love. August, love.
Pag hindi mo ma-define yung love,
yan, seryoso yan. Si Edgar.
Because love doesn't need any definition at all. It only needs two heart to live through it. So, pag ganun ang nararamdaman mo, totoo
it only
yun.
Needs a true heart to it only needs a true heart to live. Paano man? Love doesn't need that definition.
It only needs two heart to live through it.
Okay.
So kung yung nararamdaman mo sa ex ng best friend mo na-define mo o na-describe mo, could be infatuation or something else. Or minsan lukso ng dugo o minsan sexy lang siya para bang lukso lang ng whatever. Pero kung hindi mo ma-define kung ano yung nararamdaman mo sa kanya, this could be something serious. So kung na-define mo na ng maaga at seryoso pa sila nung best friend mo, o type pa siya ng best friend mo, stand down ka na. Huwag ka nang pumasok. Magkakagulo lang kayo tatlo.
Ang galing naman Kita mo naman talagang...
Pero, ganun yun. Kung hindi naman sila seryoso, then sabihin mo sa best friend mo.
Pero alam mo, nakakatuwa ka rin, Edgar, naka-maskara ka, seryoso yung sinasabi mo. Parang sabi nila, okay to.
Pero naka-smile yung mga mata niya, Sir Sunny, di ba?
Lagi naman naka-smile yan. Iba ang smile ni ni Edgar, no? Nakakatuwa naman.
Mukhang nakakaloko.
Pero dalawa. I mean, Batman at saka yan ang sayo. Yung hawak, isuot mo ngayon.
Susunod na yung wig challenge. Sabi ni August dati, wig challenge
Yung wig challenge
Hindi ko makita yung nasa yung mga wig.
Wig challenge. May mga wigs ka ba, August?
Yeah.
Dati, sir, meron.
Ayan,
Ayan, nagtanggal si Kuya Edgar. Nainitan na siya.
Hindi. Alam mo, Edgar, meron kang...
Kakain na ako.
Kumain ka na ba? Oy, Edgar, thank you very much for the...
Sa trabaho. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for the reaction. At maganda, natutuwa naman ako you joined in
Sayang
kasi nga.
kagabi, hindi ko inabot yung topic kagabi.
Okay, all right. O sige, sagutin mo. Anong
Wala
gusto mo?
siyang
Ano
mali.
masasabi mo sa hihiwalayan mo ba? O hindi mo pakakasalan yung pagkamalakas ang hilik ng sweetheart mo?
Nag-message lang ako, nag-comment lang ako yesterday. Huli na eh. Naghihilik na pagkatapos kong pakasalan eh.
Ganun ba?
Tumatawa pa sa background ko.
Hindi, yun nga. Mag-headset ka ba? Matulog na maaga? Meron daw sabi ni Jerry Moises, meron parang clip sa ilong. So, ayun.
Hindi mag-work yun. There's an underlying condition na kailangan unawain mo. Sinasabi ko sa kanya dahil gawa ng health niya, dahil tumaba siya, pati yung lungs niya, nagkaroon ng taba, kaya minsan nahirapan siya na. Nagbabibrate yung lungs niya.
Pero
yung
ang question is, love mo pa rin. Yun ang tanong eh. Siyempre.
Oo.
Siyempre.
Wala ka na magagawa eh.
Wala ka na magagawa. Ando na yun. Oo. At saka tatanggapin
wala
mo.
Wala naman divorce sa Pilipinas.
Oo. Dito meron.
Ang hirap nga lang matulog talaga. Masakit sa ulo.
Pwede kayo mag-sleep divorce, no? But anyway, pag-usapan natin next time yan. Babatiin, baka may mga shout-out ka riyan, Edgar. Go ahead.
Sa mga taga-Darby, magandang gabi ulit. Sa inyong dalawa, magandang gabi ulit. Kay Attorney DQ, hello. Sayang na-miss ko yung topic mo, i-replay ko na lang later. Kay Amik, hello Amik.
Yan,
At
mabuhay.
kay Jess. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Edgar. Ha?
Dito
Thank
sa
you, Kuya
asawa ko
Edgar.
nagluluto.
Pinasaya mo ako ha.
Oo, pinasaya mo kami. Maganda tulog natin ngayon. Thank you. And thank you ha, Edgar. God bless ha. Ayan.
Good night.
Good night. Ayan,
See you on next week.
Ayan, si Edgar Duway. Oo, natuwa ka. May naalala ka kasing nakita mo sa YouTube, no? At totoo yung kwento ni Edgar na yun. We had the topic na mga funniest mga moments or experiences. And that was a very funny experience. Biro mo, may type kang babae, tapos na putol yung and then kinabit mo ng bubble gum, and then nag-swimming ka, tinangay ng ipis, bigla mong kinuha, sinuot mo kagad, no? Dahil nagmamadali ka di ba?
Syempre naman, sir, nakakaya, harap ka sa bed mo babae, tapos di ba?
Yes. Sir,
may mabasahin ako dito, ha?
Go. Sige.
Niya. From Ate Herlid Melgar, sabi niya, wish for my birthday tomorrow. Hope maging okay na po ang lahat at bumalik na po sa dati lahat ng maging ang
Bumati
lahat
siya ng
ng
God
maging
bless,
okay na po.
Bumati siya ng
ang
God bless
buong
sa atin.
Mundo, mawala na po ang coronavirus po. God bless to all. Advance happy birthday, Tita Herlid.
Darmin's happy birthday, ha? Darmin's happy birthday. Sino yung mga nagdidiriwang na kanilang mga birthday, happy birthday. No?
Yes,
kayo.
happy birthday po sa inyo lahat.
Well, sige. Baka may babatiin ka o magpaalam na tayo. August, sige. Magpaalam na tayo.
Oo, yan. Sa lahat mga nanood ngayon for tonight, tsaka sumabaybay sa araw na to, thank you so much po sa inyong walang sawang support ang panonood ng The Sonny LARAGAN Show. At sana next time po, wag po kayong mahiya, just call, tumawag po kayo sa Zoom ID, sa Zoom, maki-join in po kayo sa discussion, ayan, or mag-share kayo ng thoughts ninyo, mag-share kayo ng music, kung ano yung mga mag-share kayo ng story ninyo, wala pong problema doon. So, anyone is welcome sa programa po ni Sir San.
Oy, kung nakikinig, sorry.
Ayun, sir.
Kung nakikinig si Edgar, nag-message sa atin dyan sa ating, yung sa may chat, no? Sabi ni Alexander Onrubia Villena, Sir Edgar Duway, sabi niya, dami gitara sa background, no? Sample naman ng talent naman. Ayun. Pinoy Got Talent at Pinoy Radio. Pinoy Got Talent at The Sonny LARAGAN Show. Ayan. Okay. Well, nakapagpaalam ka na ba, August?
Yes, sir. Ayun. And I'll see you again next week, Sir Sonny. Ayun.
See you again. Okay. All right. Well, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat, no? Sa lahat na sumali sa gabing ito. Thank you very much, no? And thank you, August, no? And thank you to everybody who's joined us. Edgar, Jerry Moises, sino pa ba? Si Attorney Dana Quinto, si Amik, si Angel, no? Maraming salamat sa ngalan ho nila. Thank you very much. Kami ho rito ay nagsasabing good night, take care, and God bless. Bye!